2020. Imagine if we just started fucking.
That's actually been something I've always tried. I've always considered doing. Like,
what?
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. And our last episode, John, was an episode.
it was.
I mean, I got more comments and feedback, like real life feedback from like friends and family and people who listen who were like, you were on one, dude. And I mean, I remember when that episode finished, as I was recording that episode, I was like, Jesus Christ, Kevin, like get it together. And then I was even tweeting saying like, to promote the episode, being like, I'm embarrassed of this episode. and then I was getting people like tweeting me quotes, and it was like even worse than I thought. I was like, oh my God. And so our intern Jackie is on the other end right now. She's been awesome. She's up at all hours of the night and morning with the time difference and making like a shit ton of clips for us and stuff. But I almost feel like I need to apologize.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jackie, I don't know what you thought you were signing up for. I don't know if you thought it was going to be like cousin fucking and weird shit that I was saying, but I almost do feel like you tell me, correct me if I'm wrong. Were you like, Mom, Dad, like I got this cool internship and like, hey friends, I'm doing KFC Radio, and then they tune in and they hear that? I almost feel like I need to apologize.
Well, first of all, I was telling Nick that when you have like, I love last episode mostly because it makes my job so much easier when you have one-liners like that, because then I can just easily find clips.
Yeah, there was like 20 clips that came out of that episode, and I didn't want to post any of them. I was like, you guys can post that. I'm not posting that.
I was like, I don't know if I should post the like cousin thing out of context, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, Nick checked with me. He's like, how much are we leaning into this cousin fucking thing? I was like, God damn it. I'm an adult. What's wrong with me?
I was like laughing. My like search history is like, how do you spell cum? Is it C-O-M-E or C-U-M? I was like, I have the weirdest fucking job.
We're just teaching the youth of America, John.
Yeah.
But it's also not like, sometimes you feel like you just say things on the show that are off the rails. But like today, just talking in the office, I was talking about how I'm going to get not arrested. I'm going to get caught in a pedophile ring when I want to quit this job.
Oh yeah, that was wild. Where did that begin?
We were talking about like YouTubers or something like that, and I guess it's this YouTube company or YouTubers to like stream like doing like Chris Hansen stuff. Only,
yeah. There's like a YouTube channel who just takes it upon themselves to do To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, and like there aren't police involved or anything like that, and someone knew someone who was on it and was like, yeah, he just ran away to the woods of Maine. And I was like, well, that's what I'm going to do when I'm ready to be done with this job.
I was like, John, you can just move to Maine. You can just quit, and you don't need to set yourself up in a pedophile ring.
No, I'm too scared to quit. And so I'm just going to, like, I don't know, just fucking get caught by those guys. And when they're like, what did you think you were going to do here today? I was like, quit my job. Like, that's why I came today, to quit my job.
I'm not actually going to fuck you. I just need you to put this video out and make me quit.
They're like, oh, so you don't want... No, don't post it. I'm glad we're live streaming. I came here to have sex with a 14-year-old boy. Turns out I'm just going to move to Maine.
What are we talking about? John wants to quit his job, so he's going to pretend to fuck a 14-year-old.
I don't want, not yet. I'm just saying when that time comes.
I can't wait to be canceled.
It's just classic Cortez, I think it was. Burn the ships.
Yeah, burn the boats.
Just like fucking, I can never come back.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm out the game forever.
There's just easier ways.
That's the way to leave. Like, no, that's not. Because then you'll fucking like, I want to get back.
Yeah.
No, you have erased your fan base.
Okay, that I'm interested in. That makes sense because I have thought. I mean, I cannot wait for the sweet release of cancel. Like, just do it to me and let me go. But I have thought to myself, if I ever quote unquote retire, or not even retire, but like, I'm going to scale it back, or I'm going to spend more time with my family. Like, you can do that shit for like a month, and then you Francesa it, you Brett Favre it.
Francesa would quit for a week.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's probably wishing he fucking
raped the kid.
No.
Pretended, got painted as doing such.
Got painted as doing such. Very different.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Boy, I mean, I started out apologizing, and this is a worse episode.
I as you were apologizing, I was like, I'm gonna take this back real quick. And guess what? I will not apologize.
No, I also, I mean, I had said as we were releasing last week's episode, I was like, theoretically, I could cut these things. It's not live. It hasn't been released yet. I could tell my producers to get rid of these things, but alas, that's not the code I live by.
No.
I live by a Dexter-esque code where it makes no sense, and what I say here, it flies.
Yeah.
That's
It does fly. It all works.
I mean, we soared. Yeah. I mean, that episode was flying. It was zooming, and it's like, yeah, well, I guess when you just say completely horrific and outlandish things, the audience likes it.
Well, good. We checked that box.
Yeah, Jackie, has any of your do you like your family listen, or do they understand? Like, my parents are so out of the loop technologically and internet wise, they've never like caught up with anything I've been doing. But I would imagine your parents are probably like my fucking age, so I'm sure it's a little different. Yeah,
I always told them I listened to a podcast, and I think that they thought they got the idea it was like an intellectual podcast or something like that.
Nope.
And so then, and then I told them I got this job, and then I like all hit me. I was like, oh shit. They were like, oh my God, I can't wait to listen.
No.
And then, the first one that they,
sorry, go ahead.
the first one they listened to was, there was like one, it was the one where you were talking about how Casey's mom had listened. It was the one before that, and you talked about jacking off like 50 times in the episode. My mom's like, all right. So excited for you.
God damn it.
I told when I first got hired, my dad knew what Barstool was, but when I first got hired, I told my mom, like, never look at it whatsoever. Yeah. And she's actually big into podcasts, but she's never listened.
My mom and my sister are the only women in my life who have honored the idea of just not listening. Everyone else, they say they're not going to, or they don't, they don't have a problem with it, and inevitably they do, and they do. But hey, pays the bills.
Does pay the bills. That's nice.
That's about it, though.
You got
something that's going to pay the bills, right?
I got no.
Well,
I have a lot of business ideas sometimes where I'm like, I shouldn't say it, and I do it anyway. This one I really shouldn't say. I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah.
Speaking of paying the bills, we got to do so right now. Owens Mixers. I am making a solemn promise to you. I'm gonna get into the Owens Mixers game. We are going to get into the Owens Mixers game. I promise you that. And it's after watching the foreplay guys just crush it with transfusions, we're gonna do it as well. They don't know it yet. Haven't talked to them, but we're gonna Owens. Coming for that ass. And we're going to do it in a major way. The transfusion is the crisp, refreshing flavor combo of grape juice and ginger ale. You mix that up with some Navi, a little New Amsterdam vodka, and you have yourself a perfect summertime drink, golf course drink, pool drink, beach drink, or whatever. I mean, you can be by the fire in the middle of January drinking transfusions. Who gives a fuck?
For sure. It's a delicious beverage.
So
I don't abide by seasonal drinks.
I don't abide by anything.
Like I was getting a drink the other day, Saturday, I think, and I asked the not bartender, waiter. Why did I say it like that?
The waiter.
I said, "What do you recommend, the margarita or the old fashioned?" And he said, "Well, it's summer, so margarita."
That's not what I asked, motherfucker.
I said, "I'll take the old fashioned. Thank you very much."
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing that for a long time. Red wine during the summer. First meal, when my kids were first born, I was having fucking hot dogs at 9 a.m. because I was up for hours on end, and I just don't think I'm going back. I just think I'm just gonna live exactly how I want to at all times.
Except hot beverages. I can't do like a hot toddy in October. I'm sorry, in August.
But if you wanted to, you should.
But yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. You want to do iced coffee in the winter? You want to do hot drinks in the summer? Whatever. Mm-hmm. But the beautiful thing about Owens is it comes pre-ready to rock in the little cans or in the bottles, and they've got all your classic cocktails. All you got to do is mix in whatever liquor you want, and you're good to go. You can get the transfusion mix at Owens' website or on the Barstool store, or you can go to a liquor store near you. Hopefully they have it in stock, but honestly, don't hold your breath because those things are flying off the shelves. So check it out, Owens, the Barstool store, or your local liquor store. Hit me with this idea, bro.
Okay.
Now, as always, everybody earmuffs. Don't listen.
Don't listen, and don't tell anyone who has money.
Don't steal this idea. Or if you're smart enough to do it, like do it and then give us the money.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're about to say, I'm sure we can't get off the ground.
Oh, no, never.
It's not like we have a media conglomerate company that could help us with it or anything. But
I severely struggled to fill out an application this weekend. Once I filled it out, it took 5 minutes. It took me 3 days to get up the courage to fill it out. So
Courage.
So no, I'm not gonna be doing.
You are like the Cowardly Lion. You really are. If we ever go to Oz, we got to find you some courage.
It was just like I don't even like.
You would be a great Cowardly Lion.
Yeah, I would actually.
You got like the beard to go, like it looks like a mane, and you're a pussy. You don't have the courage.
Big time.
It could be perfect.
It's just like I see things like, and if it's slightly outside of my normal day-to-day life, overwhelms me. I start sweating. I'm like, I just put it away because I'm like, I can't deal with
this. Is why I don't ever pay tickets and shit. I'm just like, I can't go to that website. I can't put my information in.
So easy. So fucking
I'm getting arrested.
I was just like, I was actually filling the application out when I got the aforementioned old fashioned, and I didn't even an old fashioned, a little drink. Didn't finish the old fashioned before I finished the application. It was 3 days of panic for 6 minutes of work.
This is why you have a girlfriend. Why men have girlfriends.
Yes.
It's like when they say like, you're gonna make an honest man out of me. It's not like, you're like a wild child who needs to be like calmed down. It's like, I'm just gonna get you to do shit.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you what too. It was one of the most proud things I've done in a long time.
Filling out the
application. I felt great
Yeah.
about myself after.
Well, that's
doing things.
Yes, checking shit off your list as harmless as it is. It feels
Kevin.
like, and you know what it is, because you know why? What happens is you then like reward yourself. It's like I filled out an application, so tonight I'm gonna like throw in a lip. I'm gonna have a bottle of wine. I'm gonna eat whatever. Yeah. All of a sudden, like carbs don't count because I filled out a fucking.
It's great. You
application.
understand why people who like do things are happy.
Yeah.
Like, I cleaned up my closet yesterday.
Cleaning out my closet.
I felt like $1 million afterwards.
Hero.
I felt
heroic.
I told Casey earlier today, and it's kind of a joke, kind of real, that I feel the happiest and healthiest I've been in I don't know how long. And I think it's because I haven't seen Casey in about 5 days. And that's partly true. But the other thing is, like, I just did some stuff this weekend.
Yeah.
I did a couple of chores.
Yeah,
I feel amazing.
what did I do recently? I fixed something with my car. Like it was like an oil, like I changed the oil or whatever. I took it to a place and they fixed it, and I was just like,
oh, you didn't even do it yourself.
no, I mean, come on, what am I, Bob Vila or some shit? But I just like, fixing things, doing things, accomplishing things, as tiny as they are. All of a sudden, I have confidence.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
It's great. Like I can do
something.
things. I'm an impressive man.
Yeah.
I can fill out a fucking application for an apartment.
but we're not. But we think that.
Yeah, but it gives you just an idea of like you said, confidence.
But you are an ideas man.
Ideas, man. Yes.
Yes.
Application fill out, man.
Not so much. But what's the latest idea?
Okay. So it's like 23andMe, but instead of figuring out where your family origins are from, you figure out what characters throughout your life you've based your personality on. What percentage of what person is you?
Like fictional characters.
Yeah, because that's what your brain is. Like, what is your personality? Who have you become? And you get it done by like you have all the writers of like famous movies and shows fill out like a personality quiz, and then you fill out the personality quiz,
And if it matches,
and then they do some algorithm shit, and it's like, okay, you're 16% John McClane, you're 42%. Nick Miller.
Bold that you just. Okay.
Well,
I was going to say Nick Miller.
Well, because here's the deal. When and this is actually it's a pretty impressive look at the trajectory of my life. Like as a kid, my personality was based on like John McClane, little
Die Hard.
little
People
Monty
don't know.
Python.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Your dad like instilled that in you, right?
Yeah. A little.
I felt. By the way, when you guys were talking about that, I mean, I fucking hate Monty Python.
Oh, it's so fucking.
And
funny,
you and your
man.
brother and your dad were talking about it, and I just was like, yeah, because I didn't want to yuck your yum, and I was like, that fucking, I hate that movie.
The what else was there? The crazy Irish guy from Braveheart.
Yeah,
It's my island.
Yeah.
The fuck. There was one more that I was like sure about. Pavel Bure, of course.
Naturally.
And then fuck. What's the other one? Fuck.
So you had a little bit action hero, a little bit sports hero, a little bit comedy guy.
Yeah. And now I'm like Hank Moody mixed with Nick Miller mixed with I don't know who else.
That's honestly it.
That's probably pretty much it.
Yeah. So your idea though, this would require writers, producers, whoever.
Oh, they'd get a cut. They'd get equity right away.
And they fill out, like you said,
extensive, like created by psychiatrists,
Right, like-
not me being like, hey, do you like milk or water?
But I'm
that wouldn't be on one.
this
This is why I'm having the psychologist do it.
like I said, I'm an ideas guy. I can't execute.
It's 23andMe, but for your personality to figure
Okay.
out where your origins of your personality.
And so
are.
I'm envisioning like a scale of 1 to 10 type things. Like what would John McClane like answer, and then you answer the same way,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, so you were trying to be like John McClane. You were trying to be like Pablo Barre. But I mean, you need a wild number of people to
big one. It's a big
Yeah.
undertaking, which is why I'll never do it.
Yeah.
But I think because everyone wants to, more so than like if I'm from fucking sub-Saharan Africa, I want to know what fucking famous people am I like? What fucking fictional characters am I like?
I growing up, I know for sure I wanted to be like Marty McFly.
Oh, good one.
I know every time I like had an imaginary girlfriend in like a game I was playing, her name was Jennifer because of Marty. Who else? I mean Zach Morris, classic.
Zach Morris,
that's
very much in
cliche,
there.
but it is what it is.
Corey Hunter.
Corey, you blended them. I like that. Sean Hunter and
Sean
Corey
Hunter,
Matthews.
my bad, yes.
But I do. Corey Hunter is
Actually-
like every woman's dream. That's like the cool guy, but then sweetheart. I mean, you want to be a Corey Hunter.
Uncle Jesse.
You huge one.
That was a big one.
Huge one. I Charles in Charge was a big one for me. That's like a little bit older.
Yeah.
That was like because that also
Leo in fucking Family Matters, was it?
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains? Yeah.
That was weird because he was just a homeless kid.
I know, but he was a fucking man. He was
awesome.
Leo.
Yeah. But stay in that tree right there. Mike Seaver from Growing Pains was like that dude. Mike Seaver.
Yeah.
There was an episode of Growing Pains where he wrote all the answers to the test on his bottom of his shoe, and then like sat there with his leg crossed and like cheated on the test. And I was like, oh, I'm cheating on every test forever. That really instilled in me. I would cheat on tests that I absolutely knew the answers to.
I've never cheated on a test.
You are such a fucking liar or an idiot.
I don't 100% hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure I've never done like a crazy detailed thing. Like I just couldn't figure out how to do my TI-89. I know some people did that.
Yeah,
where
you know what?
saved it in your-
I remember. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you never gone to you would look at people's papers, right?
Yes, that
Right,
for
right.
sure. Yes.
So I remember there was we got Poland Spring bottles banned at our school. I don't know. Is
You
this
were right on the inside.
Yeah, is that
smart?
yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if that
I
was
don't think it was a regular thing.
epidemic
Not
across high school, but they would write on the wrapper on the inside, and then you can look through and see the answers. I never did that.
I've definitely also like plagiarized. So I mean like I've never had like a crib sheet.
Right.
Just because I was always so I'm so fucking like, blah, like I don't even know what blah means, but I am. That's the way to describe me. Blah. And I was just like, I'll get caught in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Trying to
I
get the
hear
crib
you.
sheet out. Or trying
But
to look
I
at
mean,
the
I
crib
would
sheet.
absolutely always look at every paper, and I would be like,
Yeah, I'll look
I
over
know
your
the
shoulder,
answer
no
to this.
doubt.
Like, this is 100% C, and I would like look at your paper and be like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. But I could have got caught cheating for things that I remember on the AP calculus test. I was just like desperately hoping for a 3. I wasn't going to get any credit for this. I just didn't want to like bomb it. And I was my buddy Block was like sitting next to me, and he had no shot. I mean, no shot. And I was trying to help him out. I mean, cheating on a calculus test is very hard. It was one of those like you have to show.
Never taken calculus.
You have to like show your work,
Took
you know.
pre-calc.
So I remember.
No, I didn't even take pre-calc. Took pre-algebra. I think.
What does even that mean?
I believe maybe I'm wrong. I took pre-something.
Pre-calc is a
senior
thing.
year.
I don't think pre-algebra.
Like I
is a
took
thing.
something senior year where like they were sophomores in class. That was my senior
You're
year
a big,
math class.
you're a big dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember showing him my paper, and he was trying to like match all my work, but I think we did it for the wrong questions. So he had like the right answer for the wrong question.
And they weren't
So
clearly like you guys cheated.
I mean, I'm sure they did, but
Well,
they
you didn't
didn't
get in trouble
know.
for it or anything?
Yeah, no, I didn't get caught.
Wow.
The greatest cheating scandal that I ever came up. Phrasing. The greatest academic cheating scandal I've ever been involved in that I got caught for. I was in either seventh grade, and this was like prime black KFC years where I was hanging out with all black and Puerto Rican kids, and there was one kid, Gennaro, G, and G was fluent in Spanish, and he was illiterate in mathematics, and I We were the perfect yin and yang. So I did all of his math homework and he did all of my Spanish homework. But two things happened. One, he was like casually fluent. So like, he wasn't really by the book Spanish, but you would only know that if you were like fluent. You know what I mean? So it's like
a teacher say.
Yeah. But it's just like, looking at my homework, he'd be like, this is what someone from Puerto Rico would answer. It's correct, but it's not what I taught you,
Right.
But I gave him my math homework, and he was the teacher. She must have like knew something was up, and she was standing like at his desk, and she was like, show me like your work or whatever. And he started flipping through his binder and went through like my work, and she said, stop, and flipped back, and she said, that's Kevin Clancy's handwriting. It's like, holy shit, this bitch is not fucking around. I mean, I feel like she must have like known it and plotted and planned until she had like the evidence, like the fucking DA trying to take down the mob. Like not before we have all the evidence. That was a big cheating scandal. Like my mom got called and everything.
When was this, high school?
No, this is like 7th or 8th grade.
Okay, because I think once the cheating scandals get to high school, that's when you can get in like real trouble.
Yeah.
I think in 7th grade it's kind of like, oh, they're being cute.
Yeah. I mean, nothing really happened to it. I think my mom was even like, yo, like good shit. Like that's resourceful. You know what I mean? But I never met a test I didn't cheat on. I mean, all of them.
I looked over shoulders 100% of the time.
Yeah,
but
the like smuggling things in is where it kind of gets extreme.
I guess I kind of cheated on my SAT 2s because I was drunk for them.
What? Which one did you take drunk? SAT 2s were hard as a motherfucker.
SAT 2 Spanish, because my buddy and I had just gotten back from Spain.
Yeah,
and we had always been like, dude, we are so much better at Spanish. When
now's the time.
Which we're like,
so
like,
you drank on purpose?
Yes, yeah.
You are staggeringly stupid.
We were drinking like during the test. We were drinking. We had Gatorade All Stars, the little mini bottles, and we had them filled with vodka. We had like we each brought like 3 Gatorade
straight vodka,
All-Stars.
or you mixed them with the Gatorade?
Mixed them.
Yeah.
And we were like cheersing during the test because we were drunk, being like, we're fucking Gatorade All Stars, baby.
Well, the SATs and the SAT 2s were a weird thing where you would go, like, I don't know about you, but I went to like a different school on like a Saturday, and
No, we had it just in
because you were in like your boarding school and
Yeah,
shit, right?
we just
Like
had
I
them.
went to like a different high school and took tests there, so it wasn't even like it's not like I saw my regular teachers or any of that shit.
That's different a little bit, I think. Like that would be a safer place to be drunk.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it would be easier to be drunk and
Right.
cheating because it's like I don't even know you and you're not really paying attention.
We just thought that when we had come back from Spain and we'd partied every single night, we were just like, we were always like, we're better at speaking Spanish when we're drunk, which is definitely, it's two things. One, I think it is partially true because I just think because it lowers your inhibitions and you're not thinking about how scared you are and how stupid you sound
Yeah.
speaking a different language.
I can understand that,
But two,
but that's
it's
like
also
you've had like 1 or 2 drinks, not like you're shit faced drinking.
100%.
Yeah.
Then the two is just like blacking out and not remembering, being like, que pasa, mi amigo. Like,
Yeah, there's a difference between taking the test drunk and taking the test after a drink.
Not you're thinking you looked great out there when actually you looked like every drunk experience ever.
100%.
Like,
That's what drunk is. Like, I was killing it, man. Like, no,
no, you look like an asshole last night.
That the stories I caught of you guys when you were in Spain, and they were trying to make you do siesta,
Yeah.
and you were just like, well, I'm a 17-year-old boy. I can't go to bed at 3 p.m., so I'm gonna just drink whiskey. So you were just shit faced during nap time for the semester abroad.
Yeah, it was, and then we just partied all night. It was like, and then we just go.
Didn't Graham say he took a shower during siesta once and she slapped him in the face?
Oh, she used to beat the shit out of us.
Your
dude.
your study abroad mom
Yeah.
used to just abuse you.
She, like legit. If I was there for a month, hit me 15 times more than my parents ever hit me, all combined. It got to the
That's
point.
like so illegal.
Yeah,
You
oh,
just
crazy.
beat strange kids.
Beat up. Like day one, she set the tone. Like walked the door. Ah, welcome to hell, bitch. It was fucking wild. There was one night where she was feeding us, and like, cause you can only get hit so many times before you're like, all right, fuck this lady.
I'm gonna fight back. You're
Yeah,
not my
yeah.
mom. You're just some random Spanish woman.
And like, I would have been polite had she been polite, but she came out with this dish. And she was like, I want you guys to try this dish I just invented. And it was fucking sausage and potatoes. And I was like, actually, not hermano, that's brother. I don't know, Germans. Fucking, I was like, the Germans invented that. And she's like, ¿qué? Like, that's a German meal, maybe Polish, but I forget. But it's
You
fucking
stole it.
not your meal. She's like, no, I invented this. I was like, no, you didn't. And we're just fucking like yelling at each other. And she starts fucking whacking me with the spoon she brought out to scoop it onto our plates. And I'm just fucking, I'm in a ball like a turtle shell right away. Bam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was the Germans! It was the Germans! And then she's just fucking,
You won't relent. You won't give up.
I never gave up. I think she just got tired. She was a big fat lady. It was fucking wild. But she let us party all we wanted. So,
Chaos.
There were other people who had like billet families that were like very strict. Like you had to be home at 10 p.m. every night.
Right.
She didn't give a shit what we did. She just wanted to
Did
kick
they
our
get
ass when we
paid
were
for
there.
that?
I would imagine.
Because, like,
so.
why the fuck would you do that? Maybe if you're like an old couple or old single person, you're like a widower, and you just want like, kids or companionship. But if you're like, if you got your own kids and your own life and shit, and you do that, I mean, what the fuck?
Dude, one time she beat me because she fucking did our laundry and she stained my shirt. And I wasn't like angry. I just pointed out, I was like, oh, like you got a little stain on here. And she was like, no, you did that. I was like, I didn't. Like, it's a red stain. I would have noticed this at any other point. And she just fucking went to town on me there too.
Don't fuck, talk shit, get hit. That's fucking crazy, man. We were talking during the live stream the other night. I was very disappointed in the reaction to this. We were talking about the Irish potato famine.
Yeah.
Which I think, despite its overwhelming tragedy, is on the surface, it's a very funny tragedy. Which I think we can say as Irishmen. It's like we couldn't grow potatoes, so 1 million people died. And what I always pride myself the most on, what I like the most about having Irish heritage, is that we don't get offended, we don't give a fuck, and everything's up to be laughed at and made fun of. And so I tweeted that because I Googled, I searched, why didn't the Irish, and it autofilled just fish. Like there were a lot of people out there who were like, why the fuck couldn't you guys figure out some other food? And
like even fishing is a crazy one. I just plant carrots.
Plant something. I guess if there's blight and you can't grow potatoes.
What is blight?
It's like, I think, a shift in like the weather or something where like the soil is no good and you just can't grow. It's something to do like there's blight on the crops and that means like you're fucked. I don't know exactly what. Yeah, give me a little Google search.
Oh, sorry, I was replying to chaps.
Oh,
I'm trying to get me to do radio right now.
But so maybe we couldn't grow anything because of blight.
A plant disease, especially one caused by fungi such as mildew, rust, and smuts.
Okay, so not weather, but it was whatever happened with the potatoes. Maybe, like you said, grow carrots because there's no fungus there. What I came to learn real quick is that it was the British, those motherfuckers, were like basically enslaving us and wouldn't let us use ports and wouldn't let us. And I think the Native Americans sent food over to us and the British just like kept it all. So they were basically
shout out Native Americans.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
Yeah.
Like why would the Native Americans have the Irish back?
Why would the Native Americans even know that it was happening?
Yeah, and why
Did
would
someone
they
call?
Yo, hey, Geronimo, we need some fucking corn, bro.
How did the Native Americans learn about the Irish potato famine?
Yeah,
well, I guess people were going over.
I get, yeah.
So British people going over, like, you never believe what we're doing.
We're fucking killing the Irish.
Like, we are.
Hey, we're gonna kill you next, but right now we're killing the Irish.
We're just destroying their lands right
Yeah.
now. It's amazing. And they're like, we're gonna send over boats with food, and if you guys want to come here and help us out for when these guys flip on us, be grateful.
Yeah,
Totally
maybe
grateful.
that's what the Native Americans were like. We're gonna need some backup because these motherfuckers are gonna do it to us
Right.
next. But 1 million people died, 1 million people left, just getting out of town. Like, well, there's no potatoes, so we gotta leave. And so I did once I did that Google search, I learned that the British were fucking with us. But the amount of like Irish people responding to my tweet, like offended almost, and be like, "Why don't you research this? You should know this. Like, this isn't a joke." It's like, fucking turn in your Irish card. It's a funny joke that the Irish died because they couldn't eat anything but potatoes. Fuck off.
It's a funny joke that why didn't they eat anything else is a funny joke.
Yeah, period.
Right.
It's like, yes, I get it. It was genocidal fucking colonization from the British. I understand. But we laugh about these things here when we're Irish. We drink, we get rosy cheeks, we beat our spouses, and we die because of potatoes. It's funny. It's all funny. You're going to get offended and tell me to research things or not to be, don't be insensitive. What's the point of even being Irish? There's very few good traits about being Irish.
I mean,
but
I'm struggling to think of one.
One is we have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
That's it. So if you don't have that and you get offended, all that's left is alcoholism, bad, like ugliness, paleness,
And little penises.
and little fucking dicks. So we're just brimming with confidence and humor and like impervious to of being offended.
I agree with that.
And those are great traits. But if you don't embrace those,
are
then
the
being
best
Irish is
traits
the
you
worst.
could possibly have.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
just like, I'm
the
down
only
with
thing
whatever.
I think the being impervious to we don't get offended. I think also leads to just tremendously bad mental health issues. That's there's a double edge. It cuts both ways. Like, yeah, we got a great sense of humor and we don't get offended, but also I haven't addressed my feelings in about 2 decades.
But also
and I'm about
that
to
cuts
explode.
me deep on the inside, and I just kind of just shut the fuck up about it.
Right. Which way would you rather be? Would you rather be like us, like the Irish, and be like, this hurts my feelings so much, but I can compartmentalize and I can put up a front and laugh about it, and I'm going to turn it on you, and we're going to joke, and you're going to think I'm funny, and I'm going to be confident. Maybe that girl will even let me have sex with my tiny dick with her. Or, I don't even know what's an ethnicity that, like, I feel like the Jews really like wear their heart on their sleeve, and they're like, they're about their
Jewish
feelings.
people do?
I think so, no?
I don't think so.
No, the Jews keep it, like, suppressed?
Maybe.
I feel like the
don't
Jews
know.
are very, like, open about their feelings, like, at all times.
I literally, I'm just basing this on Larry David, and I guess yes, in that case, he would, but I don't know.
I just feel like the Jewish moms are always
You
like,
look at that a lot, and it tricks me.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry, I won't look at it anymore.
like,
you do
have-
keep looking. Like, what's he looking at?
Like you popped up there, and like I was like, oh, what are we watching over here? Nothing. There's nothing.
It's just a fucking
It's just a desktop.
Forget about whatever another ethnicity that does that. Would you rather be basically like mentally adjusted, but you do get offended and you don't have the humor and the confidence?
I think maybe.
What does that mean?
I think maybe I would. Let's be well
Maybe
mentally
what?
adjusted.
Yeah, like you'd switch. I think like
I've reached
zero.
a stage in my life where every day I'm like, when's this really gonna pop?
Exactly. Like I think that from 0 to like 30 for me, 28, let's say, I'm good being like, I'm the Irish guy who doesn't address my feelings. I think Captain Cons has it in his Twitter bio. I think it's a line from The Departed. Like, we're impervious to psychology or some shit. What is it? I think it's a line from The Departed when Leo's getting his, when he's talking to his
boo.
Yeah. What is that line? What does that say?
Irish Catholic.
Ignore my problems till they go away. So yeah.
Oh, that's what Matt Damon says when he's in bed with her.
Right,
He's like,
right.
if something's wrong, you didn't want us to leave.
Right. And that and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm proud of that. And then once you have real problems, I think it's like, this is a horrible way to live. This is as a matter of fact, the worst way to live. I took off the other day. Thursday, was it? I said, I just texted you guys. I said, I'm taking off tomorrow. And you and Casey, multiple people checked in, like, are you good? And I was like, yeah, like, thank you. But fuck, we're at that point in life where it's like, if I just take a day off, people are assuming something's drastically wrong, because chances are there is going to be something wrong.
I think that's also partly because we haven't taken days
Day
off
off
in like
in
10 years.
forever.
So like
Yeah,
if something's
yeah.
wrong, if you like
Right.
taking a day off, it's like, this hasn't happened in a decade.
Right.
Why? What's wrong?
Right. But I
mean, you didn't take, you referenced it earlier, a cheating scandal. You didn't take that day off.
bro.
You were at work that day.
I like prided myself on that like a fucking moron. That was so stupid. Yeah, I don't take any days off, but then when I did, it was like, are you gonna kill yourself? Are you okay? I don't know. Maybe I haven't addressed my feelings in 20 years.
Have I looked like that close to it? Like, we're just like, I got a pretty big chore to do today. I'm gonna need a few hours at Home Depot. I don't know. I gotta check some things out. Maybe Home Depot. We'll head over to a pawn shop, see what they got under the desk.
I think it would be better to be in touch with my emotions and feel. I'm in touch with them. I just don't put it into any practice.
Yeah,
or
because no one
anything.
gives a shit.
Right. So that's where I think.
Even though we're literally talking about them right now, but no one gives a
That's
shit.
yeah. It's like we talk about them, but I don't do anything about it. I don't know. I feel like I would say it's better to be like mentally healthy, but then if I were to all of a sudden be, I'd be like, you're so gay, dude. You're so lame and annoying. Because that's the other thing. It's like
You're so 90s gay.
yeah, right.
90s.
It's like you're telling everyone your problems and your business and you're crying and you're complaining. Nobody fucking cares.
Yes.
That's how I feel. Even though it's just like no. You're just like a healthy person.
I don't know, man. I go back and forth with it. Sometimes it's nice to be healthy. Other times it's fucking for the birds.
For the fucking birds. I'm just gonna go back and forth until I'm dead. You know?
Does for the birds mean for women?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think so. If I'm gonna guess, let's just guess. Let's come up with your actual definition. I'm gonna say it's something like these are the scraps of food we throw it to the birds.
That's what I think is probably the right one. But I'm just wondering. They're like, you know what? A fun one I learned the other day.
What?
Nutmeg used to make you go crazy if you had too much nutmeg. And I actually didn't discover this. In fact, I don't even know if
State,
it's
by
true.
The way, Connecticut.
Oh, yeah?
Remember there was a guy who used to call KFC radio, and he would always be like, "Yo, what's up? It's like Steve from the Nutmeg State." And we're like,
yeah.
Nobody fucking knows what that is.
But my mom was telling me how, because she was taking like a sociology of food class, and she was telling me how nutmeg was the thing that made you go crazy if you were sick. And I was like, "Is that where you want nuts comes from?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Good
Is that
question."
what it is?
I didn't look it up, but
Let's say it.
I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go with
it
that.
makes perfect sense.
By the way,
But actually, that's a lie. I did look it up. Going nuts is short for how they said it in Britain, which is going nuts. But then, like, I just
But what is nutters?
But I assume nutters is from nutmeg.
fine. Either way, nutmeg is why you're crazy. Speaking of your mother, when I did meet her, I talked about how we lived up, like she totally lived up to the hype. As did you, though, because we met, and I know why you said this, but not like fully. You were just like, "Hey, Ma, you want to talk about cannibalism? Kev's your guy." And I was like, first of all, word? What's up, Polly? And second of all, is that my reputation? I'm the cannibal guy?
I think so.
I mean, I definitely have talked about it
You talk about it a lot.
extensively.
Yeah.
But no, not a lot. It's when I do talk about it, I'm passionate. But it's not like I bring it up every episode. It's not like jerking off.
No. Not every episode. But I would say it's a monthly thing.
Is it really? God,
Maybe
12 times
maybe
a year.
bi-monthly.
I mean, I definitely want to talk about it. I'm like, I will eat human if you put it in front of me. But why is your mom so into cannibals?
She could in that same sociology of food course.
Yeah,
she
okay,
just
that
like
makes
learned
sense.
about cannibalism and stuff like
Yeah.
that. She was telling us all about it. This was still in quarantine. And she was telling us all about it. My dad just got up from the table. He's not good with like that like
I'm out.
sick stuff. Like like there'll be a commercial on, like, we'll be watching like a fucking Thursday night football game or a Sunday night football game. There'll be a commercial for some broadcast television show, which is where the safest thing can possibly be.
Yeah.
And it'll be like a guy, like a surgeon, like going in with a needle, and he'll be like, "Oh my god,
Can't do it.
Oh,
Can't do it. That's funny because he's like the toughest guy I can imagine. But it's like, nope, not with that. Anyway, anywho, we got to get on this idea of yours. We got to make millions.
We're definitely someone's going to, because I think people would pride
Could you
themselves.
imagine that? You get like a report back and it's like you're 33% Mark Paul Gosselaar and like 22% Justin Priestley.
It's like one of
Jason
those things that
Priestley.
people used to always do too. Like, it was such a big thing in high school, and it became a big thing recently as well with the Russian thing. But like, people want to know, like, what celebrity do I look like?
Yeah.
What character do I act
Like is the even better one. We got to make an app that can do that. Speaking of apps, go download the ATI app. We are officially at 1.1 million cards viewed, which when you think about it, there's only 5 decks of 50 cards each. So that is a lot of motherfuckers playing those cards. That's actually like, you guys have got to just be playing them over and over again. Now that I'm doing the math. Be on the lookout. We're going to drop a new deck soon, probably the sports deck. But there's a bunch of different categories that we will be putting out, and I think we're gonna like Disney Vault this shit, where some come and some go, and you gotta wait till you get some other ones. So I recommend now buying all the decks if you are into ATI. It's been cool watching like a new like sect of stoolies get to it. You know, it's like the KC Radio fans have always been down, and a lot of like the readers, listeners, callers are always referencing certain questions. But to see people stumble upon new ones, like those are like classics, and I see new people tweeting like, "Whoa, this one's tough." I'm like, "Oh, we've been doing that for a decade." Like I could write you a thesis on that question. So download the ATI app. It's in the App Store. It's not in the Google Play Store. I'm sorry if you have Android. You're fucking, you chose poorly. I know it's faster and better, but like nobody cares.
No one cares.
Nobody cares.
It really is one of the greatest washes
If
of all time.
if you listener are a Android app developer, and you would like to make the app for us, fine. But right now, we don't pay anybody to make apps for phones that nobody have. Just not a good idea. All right, so today, by the way, didn't even mention it. This is maybe the greatest duo interviews we've ever had.
Yeah.
Ben Schwartz, Nick Miller. Ben Schwartz, Jake Johnson. Like, that's the tag team champions of the world in my mind. Have they... Have they been in something together?
Never? No, I don't think so.
They did. I found the clip. Ben had a show, the earliest morning show or something, and like it's an interview with Jake. It's very funny.
I mean that to me feels like.
I mean, Jake told the story of how Ben did the first table read.
Yeah.
You gotta listen.
So they have like crossed paths, but I feel like those two need like a full blown show together. Like it's like when The Rock and Mankind got together, the Rock and Sock connection. We need the Schwartz and Johnson duo. So we'll get into those interviews. Of course, our voicemails, but first we'll do a little top fives. Top five is brought to you by Blue Nile. So once you go through your top five.
By the way, you were right about For the Birds.
It's
like worthless.
Let the birds eat it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Nick's already making fucking me as a Cowardly Lion. I look exactly like it.
Courage. Yeah, you do. I mean, Nick is painting masterpieces with the Reface app. We like caused a stir with the WAP video. Like people were like, "Don't like take this down."
I had Paul.
I will fuck you.
Yeah, you said that a lot. I'm getting the
fuck female Cardi B. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's because of Cardi B's like body. It's like has nothing to do with you.
Face.
But like, if you got rid of like you had your facial hair on. I mean, I'm not trying to fuck a girl with a beard, but if you got rid of that, your face is good enough with that body that I would fuck you. just telling it like it is. There was one guy. So I just bluntly said that. It's so funny watching people who are like, this is Barstool. You know what we do here, and people were still like, dude, come on. It's like, I'm talking about fucking Feidelberg. Like, relax.
Shut up.
Yeah. And but somebody tweeted us and said, like, why don't you guys just start doing hand stuff and see where it goes? Like, you know what? 2020. Imagine if we just started fucking.
That's actually been something I've always tried. I've always considered doing. Like,
what?
No,
what?
Making jokes on like all male panels because like people always say like whenever there's one female, like they're always like, oh, I wonder which one she's fucking. And just like on all male panels, I wonder which one's he fucking. and just like, there's only two of us. So
just do some hand stuff, see where
Dude,
it goes.
I had Paul Paps text me Saturday night, I think, and he went, bro, I just poked my fucking eye out. And I was like, and like Paul like does stuff in fucking.
It could have been like outdoors and shit.
Like, grills.
You okay,
like,
man? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? He's like, I watched that fucking video, dude. That's what happened. I watched you and Kevin do WAP.
Yo, WAP is a phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, shout out to those girls who like they've coined a phrase or an acronym, I guess, but like everybody's saying it, everybody's doing the dance. I know you don't go on TikTok, but it's like that's it. You go on TikTok, it's just that's it. That's WAP. The only dance they're doing. It's just so fucking vulgar and funny. It's like, I mean, what do you think the process is? Like, you think those two get together and they're like, we want to drop like this song of the summer and go to the charts. So like, we're just gonna do it. Like, let's go all the way and be like super vulgar and sexual. Or do you think that they were like there was a genuine process of like, why don't you like make a song about wet ass pussy? Like,
I kind of feel like that was that. I think it was that one. I think it was the latter. I think it was like
it wasn't a gimmick for them. Like they weren't like, let's do this on purpose to blow up. I think it was just like we need to make a song about our pussies. Yeah, like we got wet pussy, and so that's the new trend on social media. I did.
It is. I'm just gonna. It's too wet. If I need a bucket and a mop, that pussy is too wet.
I'm going to respectfully disagree and say there's no such thing as too wet pussy. Actually, that's not true. I have been involved in a situation where like it won't stay in. Like she was on top, and I think that says more about me as well. But it just like wouldn't stay in. I was like, you need to dry up a little bit. Like get a towel.
You should tweet that at Cardi. Cardi, sometimes my girl's pussy is so wet, my dick falls out. What do you think? She's like, I think get a bigger dick.
Oh, you have to watch. Go to YouTube and watch the way Feidelberg did that. You're like a stroke. Oh man, that's so funny. You need to get a bigger dick.
Yeah. You got a fucking Ford Pinto, kid. You need a Mack truck. That's why.
I love that line. Right in this little garage. Oh, it's so good.
I throw in a every time.
It's like I growl. I love it.
Right in this little garage.
You know what I like about Cardi is she does like reply to a lot of people. Like when there are people.
Cardi's very much online. Yeah.
When they do like the deep fakes or when they do like some people have been doing the dance and she'll quote tweet and be like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Oh, really?
I'm thinking about maybe we should tweet her this video and see if we can get her to reply. She did write back. She retweeted mine where I didn't even at her when I said that the macaroni in a pot is like a very good description. Oh, if I did that, you would be like, no, dude. You know what's disheartening? Stop it. You know what makes me upset? I apologize to Jackie.
I'm sorry, Jackie.
Jackie, are you still there? Have you run away yet?
Yes.
What's like? I feel like right now, especially like if you're young and in college and partying and shit, although you're not, whatever, Corona, you're not out there. But I feel like WAP has got to be like the anthem right now for chicks. But
I haven't heard it, but my roommates and we all love it. I can attest to that. I have 8 girls and
You 8 girls?
yeah,
yeah, I'm in.
the Jackie house is fucking wild. You guys should just start like a TikTok house.
I know we've like considered trying that, but
I mean, why not? But like, so
In Connecticut, that's technically considered a brothel. I'm serious about that. I know that.
if there's 8 or more girls live together,
I think it's like 6 or more. It's why like Connecticut schools can't have sorority houses.
Really?
Yeah.
You just can't even have women living together.
Yeah, no, it's pretty wild.
They're automatically like, well, you're horse.
Yeah.
Like the only reason women could possibly live together is if they're horse. Jesus, Connecticut.
I had friends who went to Quinnipiac and like they had frats and I believe they had frats and sororities there. It could be wrong. I'm not positive. But I don't know if it's a joke, but they would always tell me that like it was. It might even be 4 or more. I forget what the number is, but whatever. I'm sorry to interrupt, Jackie.
So WAP comes on at the house. You're pre-gaming or whatever. Everybody like loves it, it's dancing, whatever. But if you're like out, are you gonna be like singing the words and being like, "Yeah, I got this wet ass pussy"?
we haven't heard it out yet, but
Yeah.
I would imagine that if so, we would just, I guess
Let
we
it
would
rip.
blast
I mean,
it.
I remember
We'd let it rip.
this is.
I heard
you probably
it out
weren't
recently.
even alive for this, Jackie. But when Yin Yang Twins would come on and chicks would be like, "To the sweat drip down my balls," and I was always like, "Do you know what you're saying?"
yeah.
And I feel like at least for this one, it'll be anatomically correct this time. But it's
No,
a
we'd let
wild
it
rip.
rip.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking anthem for the chicks, and I haven't felt this way since like doing it, the LL Cool J song where I used to rap the girls part of it.
Oh yeah.
Call me Big Daddy and scream your name. Like I know the girls part better than I know LL Cool J's part. But I feel like if you're out right now, again, it's weird because no one's out. But like,
I think
if you were,
also like with
Go ahead.
TikTok, sorry,
Mhm.
whatever, but with TikTok, like when Savage comes on next, it's gonna be like it's just gonna be everybody doing the TikTok dances too.
Yeah,
Once
that's gotta be
everybody,
weird
can
when
come
you're-
back out again.
I guess we haven't really seen that yet. That's actually gonna be interesting because TikTok kind of blew up during quarantine. Like when you're out, are people just gonna do TikTok dances?
Yeah, it's gonna be really cringe.
You know, like
Yeah.
you ever watch like rom-coms or like dancing movies where like in the Channing Tatum one and a couple others where they like you're at a party but all of a sudden they're doing like a choreographed dance at like the prom. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that's gonna happen now because
Probably.
everyone knows the dance.
Yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know the dance. I don't know. If there's a dance like I think they were just playing the song. There's a dance.
To WAP?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a TikTok, but like in general, there's TikTok dances to specific songs.
I still never know that like their actual dance. I thought they're just like I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. I just thought like Marty was making up dances.
No, you can make them up, but also like I don't know who or how. Usually, what happens is like some like cool cutting edge black person comes up with it, and the white people steal it.
Mhm.
But eventually, however it works is like the Baby had a song that's like this has a dance. The Jason Derulo song has the fucking dance. The one where you put your fingers together and move. So like you could theoretically be out like doing choreographed dances with strangers once the world reopens. That's gonna be weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool.
TikTok is wacky, man. Actually, before we get into our top 5, we got to talk about this TikTok house. Brought to you by Blue Nile. When you find the guy or girl in your life, fuck that. Let's be honest. Guys have to buy the diamond, and it's bullshit. Until the girls start buying rings, and then you can't. There's no equality until that happens.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but whatever. We got to do what we got to do. And Blue Nile is the best place to buy ethically sourced, GIA graded diamonds in every shape and size with endless selections to help you get the ring of her dreams. I mean, it even says it right there in the copy, of her dreams. How come it's not of his dreams? You can buy
I
the
can't,
perfect.
I can't wear a ring because I have fat fingers. So.
Yeah, your ring size is probably like 9.5.
I bet. You want to hear something really embarrassing?
What?
There was a time in my life where I wore a ring.
Oh God,
And
you
it
were
had
the worst.
my initials on it. And there were 2 times in my life I wore a ring. I was young. That was like middle school me. It just said JHF. I got
was
it.
it like a clatter ring, like an Irish clatter
No,
ring?
I did a clad in high school. That was gonna be the next one. I had a clad in I mean, it wasn't. I didn't have it my entire run of high school, but there was a phase in high school where I wore a clad ring, and it was.
Where do you wear it on your which finger?
I would wear it on I think just my right finger.
Right ring finger.
Right ring finger. Yeah. Because I think that means single, and then left is.
Yeah.
and then- No. It's where the heart's facing.
Yeah, if it's in or out.
Yeah.
The heart, yeah.
It was great at opening beer cans, beer bottles.
Maybe that's why you don't know how to open them now, because you need a fucking ring to do it. I mean, now you would need. You remember Jason Sehorn?
I remember very vividly. Yeah.
Married Angie Harmon, and when they got married,
I don't know who Angie Harmon is.
she's a actress. You would definitely know her.
The name rings a bell.
I
just
want to
can't
say
put
Law and
a face
Order.
to it.
I think she's in Law and Order.
Let's figure it out. What
Um,
story.
And his finger. Yeah, there you go. Look at it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
His fingers were so jacked up that he had a ring that opened and would clasp around his, because the knuckle was like too big.
Lucky Angie.
That's got to feel like something. So anyway, back to Blue Nile. This is how Stephen Che got his diamond. I feel like we just, like, if Steve Che does it, we do it, because Steve Che's a smart guy. You know what I
Yep.
mean? He's got the homeowner stuff. We got the Blue Nile for fine jewelry. You can get the diamonds. You can get, like I said, any sort of shape, size, whether it's a birthday gemstone or an engagement ring diamond. What's your gemstone? Do you know?
No clue. Leo.
That's not a.
Yeah, I know it's not a gemstone. It's just the one I know.
So whatever you're celebrating, a birthday, an anniversary, an engagement, anytime you need to get jewelries or precious stones, BlueNile.com is the way to go. Right now, you can get $50 off your first purchase of $750 or more when you go to BlueNile.com and use the promo code KFC. This podcast, this exclusive includes loose diamonds, which is a big deal, because like you can just get yourself a rock right now and you get a discount when you use the promo code
really?
KFC. Yeah,
I might get this.
I was gonna say you might need the rock.
I just want to have a bag of diamonds so bad.
I remember like being a little kid being like, I want like pirate booty, where you get like, you have like a satchel, you have like a sack of like rubies and emeralds, and
I just want one of those little bags that people fucking kill each other over in movies and stuff.
You just pour them out.
Yeah.
It's in like a little velvet pull string pouch,
yep.
you know.
Oh
Yeah,
boy, I want one of
precious
those bad.
diamonds. Yeah.
How much for like 18 diamonds?
Well, you know, here's the thing about diamonds. You can get like shitty ones. If I could go back in time, I would definitely get a shitty diamond. I mean, I got a nice diamond. I got a nice fucking ring that like nobody's ever gonna know. Nobody will ever know.
I couldn't tell you.
So Blue Nile can, you know, you can go as precious as you want and as clear and big and cut, all that shit, or you know, you can make it, you can find it to be affordable. $50 off your first purchase of $750 or more. Every order is insured, ships for free, and arrives in a discreet packaging, so it won't give away what's inside. It's so funny. It's like, I want to do the meme of the handshaking, and it's like, porn, diamonds will come in discreet shipping, so nobody knows what it is. So go to BlueNile.com. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. BlueNile.com, promo code KFC for $50 off. The TikTok house is wild right now, man. I either hate these kids or I love them. And for the first time, I'm leaning towards loving them. I usually fucking The girls, I don't care. Whatever.
I think you love these kids.
No. The guys, the girls I like. The girls are whatever. The girls are dancing. They're making millions. We keep talking about the guy who follows them around, who's like a TMZ guy, Fletcher from like the Hollywood Fix, I think it's called. These girls are. Charlie D'Amelio is walking out of a fucking restaurant, and this guy, she's getting mobbed like she's the Beatles, right? And this guy goes, Charlie, the top 4 producers on TikTok are all girls. Do you think that you've taken down the patriarchy?
What?
Like, this girl thinks that she's just dancing. That's all. She's not trying to take down the patriarchy, Fletcher.
He might be a comedian. That's
that's
a very
unbelievable.
funny question.
Yeah. But the boys, the guys, I can't stand. I hate the guys. And that's probably 99% jealousy. But 1%, like, what are you doing?
Why would he do? Making $1 million?
Because, go ahead, make your money. And that's, for sure. If I could, I would. But when they're doing these things, like when they, and even if you're dancing, fine. These things where they set up the camera and they like look into the fucking camera and they're like winking and licking their lips and blowing kisses and like flexing. It's just like, even if I looked like that and had it like that, I don't know if I would be doing that.
I probably would not do that. No.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, this is weird. You want to dance, make your money, sure. But can't you find a way to do it like that's a little more normal? I don't know. Be like a little funny. I don't know. Like a normal, like a little bit more of a normal guy.
Let me tell you what. As someone who has a little bit of funny don't pay.
It doesn't. You're right.
I'd rather be hot and wink
But if I was
dance.
hot and, rather than like I'm going to lick my lips and blow kisses at the camera, I'll be hot. I'll fucking flex my abs and then maybe also make a joke or a fucking clever caption or
Well, but
something.
they don't fucking have to. They can't possibly be funny. They can't.
Yeah, you can't have it all.
If you're fucking raised beautiful, you have no need to be funny. People like you because they look at you.
You think that funny is a need? Like you come up with funny because you have to?
Yes, because you lack self-confidence and you're wondering how you fit in social situations and you have to be a person and it's like, well, I'm not the hot guy. I'm not.
So you think
there's nothing. Okay. You look in the mirror as a 6-year-old and go, "There's nothing appealing about me. I better fucking have a personality."
You say a 6-year-old?
That's probably about when it
Goodness
starts.
gracious!
Yeah, it's not like a serious conversation like that.
Yeah,
but you're a 6-year-old who lacks confidence. It's like, just lacking confidence doesn't start when you're 20.
Yeah,
it starts as a child, and you're like, I have to bring something to the table. It's none of this. So I'm gonna
that's why the best thing that can happen in life is
I'm not smart. I'm not fucking pretty. I'm kind of athletic. I gotta fucking be funny.
I gotta tell jokes. Yeah, the best thing that can happen to you is like you're all that shit. Like if you have a late in life growth spurt sort of thing, that's the best.
Yeah,
because like you grow up hard and get funny. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, your junior year of high school, you grow, like, 6 inches and you get, like, tall and hot. And it's like, well, now I'm hot, but I'm funny because I wasn't for the first 16 years.
That was just a short, goofy guy.
Yeah, that's the best. Fuck, I wish I could do that. Go back and do that.
Yeah.
Have that growth spurt late in life.
I'll fucking do it right now. I don't fucking care. I don't have to go back and do it. Fucking make me taller and prettier now. I don't even need the years back. Thing,
like, we could, like, so you think if I just committed to eating right and getting in shape that I would get less funny over the years? I'm a little too old now, but say I got in shape at like 27. Would I lose my funny?
I don't think you'd lose it. I think you'd find. No, I don't think so. I think once you have it, you have it.
But do you think I would utilize it less?
No,
I don't think so either.
No,
I think if I see the opportunity to make a joke or what I think is a funny joke, I'm gonna say it. I wouldn't be like, I'm hot now, so I'm just gonna just. Flex.
But if you're a fucking hot 9-year-old, then like you're never gonna be. I'm judging by other 9-year-olds. Like you're never gonna be funny. You're just not. Deal with it.
Hot 9-year-olds. We're naming this episode "Hot 9-Year-Olds." But the TikTok guy, he's 21, threw a 21st birthday party. That's the other thing. It's like, bro, you're like a super senior. This is getting embarrassing. Go get a job. You're dancing with like 15-year-olds. 21's like washed up.
Yes.
He threw a 21st birthday party for himself. Male strippers, female strippers, tons of people, no masks, no social distancing, and they were dubbed a domestic bioterrorist by the neighborhood, and then the mayor shut off their water and their electricity.
Good. Thank fucking God for both of them.
I think that they should be able to storm the house and shoot them.
This isn't even about like a fucking... It's not about coronavirus. It's not about anti-TikTok. It's about me being 31 who lived for the last 4 years in Murray Hill. And there have been so many times where if I had a button in my apartment that I could push, and it just turned off electricity and water to a neighboring apartment.
Just because you don't like them.
I don't even know if I don't like them or not. Just there's loud noise and I didn't want it. Never even met the people.
Right.
Just like I just want silence right now.
Yeah.
I would do
You're
that.
officially an old man, by the way.
Yeah, I'm fucking right I am.
Yeah.
There was one time I think I was like, I can kind of jam out to this. Every other time I'm like, this is the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Of course I'd call the cops on these guys. And I'd hope they'd fucking shut all the electricity off. Fucking love it. I love it.
I think that they should get 3 strikes. First strike, they probably get like a slap on the wrist. Second strike, they turned off their power, electricity, and utilities. And I think the third strike, you send in the SWAT team and you kill them.
Fair.
I think those kids just get massacred. It's like, listen, we as a society have gifted you millions of dollars, unimaginable fame. You have more confidence than anyone. You're probably fucking girls of your dreams and making more money than you ever thought for literally 10 or 15 seconds of work at a time. But the risk you run is also that the mayor might kill you. And I think I would sign for that.
Yeah.
If I was a 21-year-old, I'd be like, so let me get this straight.
Oh, yeah.
I can party and shit, and I'll be like unimaginably wealthy. But if I cross the line, like the SWAT team, like the militia might come in and kill me. Okay.
Yeah, and I'd cross that line pretty quick.
Big time.
I'd be signing up to live one great party.
Yeah, you're right. This is it. Wouldn't that be awesome though? Like to build up this party is like, this is it for me. The government's gonna come kill me after this. That's how dope this party's gonna be.
Yeah.
Do you think that like the Paul brothers look at the TikTok guys and they're like, fuck these kids, or like they just know that that's kind of the next generation of them and they respect them?
I would think that they know it's the next generation. I don't know. I mean, I feel like
everything is
everyone in the
kind of-
entertainment industry is like a little jealous of
Yeah,
everyone, but
right.
also like gets it kind of
Right,
deal. So
right.
like, I'm sure they're a little bit like, fuck them, but a little bit like,
That's the game.
way it goes.
Yeah. All right, you want to do some top fives?
Yeah.
Was our top fives today were top 5 series, because what was the inspiration for this?
I just tweeted last night during the Bruins game. Shout out to Boston, by the way. Fuck Tampa, you fucking pieces of goddamn shit. Fuck off. I hate you. It is the first time
I
I've
have
kinda,
not seen you get passionate like this about sports, except for the Tampa Bay. You hate Tampa Bay.
I hate Tampa Bay, and I said that I tweeted that this is for 10 years I've been chasing the high of Bruins Canucks series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just spoiler alert. It's my number 1 series. And this is just game 1. And it's the first time I've like kind of even felt it again. Where like
It's back.
I hate the other team. I fucking want them. I don't want them to lose. I want them to die.
Yeah.
I want to kill them. They're fucking whiny.
Yeah, I haven't
little
seen you like this
piss
about
ants.
sports like in general in a while.
I've been chasing the high for 10 years. Yeah, I haven't felt like this for a while because it's just like
The Canucks had the twins, right?
they had everyone. They
They're
had
the
the fucking
worst.
Sedin twins. They had Alex Burrows. They had fucking
they have
what's his name?
Marc-Andre Fleury?
Bielma.
No.
Biesca, I think.
They're the worst.
They had they had Roberto Luongo in there.
Luongo, that's who it was.
And
Yeah.
it was just like everything about them was so fucking hateable. That was actually the Bruins. Maybe this year's Celtics or maybe this year's Bruins too. But like the 2011 Bruins, I think were the last team to ever go on a run and have like the world rooting for them. Right? Like it's always been like fuck Boston
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And they were like everyone was like kill the Canucks because the Canucks were like they didn't set a record, but they were like humongously President's Trophy winners. They were the clear-cut best team in the NHL.
That felt very like cake eater-esque to me.
It's exactly what it was. Like, they were all fucking whiny little bitches.
Yeah.
Fucking Alex Burrows bit Patrice Bergeron during that series.
Yep.
The Sedins
Sedin's sister's is one of the best chirps ever.
when fucking Marchand just grabs him by the fucking face and just lets him, or by the jersey, and just punches him in the face like 6 times in a row, and he
Doesn't
just
do
wears
shit,
it.
yeah.
It's like, you guys are such fucking pussies.
Yeah.
You bite and get punched in the face, and I fucking hate everything about you. And then when fucking Tim Thomas came out of the net and fucking just put 2 into his, and it somehow wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It's the greatest series I've ever been a part of in my entire life. I went to game 2, which is a game Horton got knocked out, and it was an onslaught after that. I think the final was 8-1 or something like that. It was a fucking bloodbath. That's game 2, game 3. It was the first game at home in Boston. And it was a fucking bloodbath. And I've never, my blood's never gotten up like that. 28-3. Yeah, it was up there.
Yeah, but that's different. Like a game, individual game versus a series.
Versus series, right.
And when it goes the distance, it's like we've been together for like 10 days.
I think the NHL is 10 to 14 days for a series. So like
that's
I've had 2 weeks to fucking learn everything about you.
Yeah.
And fucking hate your goddamn guts.
Yeah.
Like a football game in the playoffs is big, but you don't get the hatred.
You don't learn about, like, you know, you were the hero game 1, and I've learned about your family and where you came from now, and I fucking hate you. And then game 2 is I learned something else. I mean, I remember that with the Blues and the Bruins. I remember Dave saying, like, I don't care about the Blues, but like by the end of this, we're gonna know each other. We're gonna have problems by the end. So yeah, the Lightning is the first time I've seen you back like this. So, are we going 5-1 or just, I don't know. This is an impossible top 5 for me. I don't have any.
No, I gave that was my number 1. So
Okay,
we'll go 1
all right.
through 5.
So I guess my number 1. I mean, I'm limited here in so many ways. Because hockey's really not on the table for me. So this just really comes down to basketball and baseball. And even like the good series for like the Mets are not like good series. They're not like I don't have any of like the hard fought deep like series. We lost. And then when like so I guess I would have to say that the 1 and 2 for me would be like the Cubs NLCS series where the Mets just fucking steamrolled them to go to the World Series. It wasn't like
Fuck that series.
Yeah, I bet. I mean that'll be my number 1 because like the Cubs absolutely should have beat us. They were a very good team, and I mean the Mets just absolutely shit pumped them. And I remember being like, this is so easy. Like I've never felt that like before. Even when they were winning, it was like by the skin of our teeth sort of thing. And this was just like pure and total domination. And I remember being like, especially when once you're up like 3-0, I was just like, well, we're going to the World Series. I mean, like this is happening. Mm-hmm. And that's when we were doing the NLCS tour. And I was in Wrigley for like one of those Daniel Murphy games where he was just like a monster. And like the Cubs fans are like so cute and nice that I was like talking shit and like I was like, no one's gonna like beat me up. I don't have to worry about getting like a beer dumped on my head. I was just like talking shit and soaking it in, and like the whole time being like, we're gonna go to the World Series. And then I guess the number 2 series would be the Cardinals in 2000 to get to the Subway Series. I think was also a sweep, and we just beat the fuck out of the Cardinals.
See, I don't like sweeps.
But that's what I mean. I don't have
you don't have
any.
any. Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, so the other ones in my mind.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In the moment, I like sweeps.
Yeah, but there's no.
Fucking be done with you.
So like the hard fought trenches type ones, like the Cardinals in 06 when Beltran got caught looking. But that series was like a back and forth slobber knocker. We had injuries that we needed to overcome. We had Steve Traxel and fucking Oliver Perez on the mound, like trying to just piece their way through it. In 99, that was the series with the Braves with the grand single with Robin Ventura. But that ended with we've walked in the series clinching run. We sent the Braves to the World Series walking in the run. It's like insane shit like that. So like I know what you mean. The whole point of like getting, like I'm sure you have like 1,000 others that you won probably, right?
Oh, I won. I mean, yeah. My fucking favorite series. I don't lose. Right. Number 2 is Bees Leafs in 13 when it was like
they had that like crazy comeback, right?
Yeah, they were down 3 goals. I think first goal came with 9 and change left in the third, and then the next 2 came under 2 minutes,
right?
And then 1 in overtime with like the famous call, the Bergeron, Bergeron. And that was like a month after Marathon bombing. And I remember watching that alone, and like I'd been texting with my dad and my brother because they were at the game, and I'd been texting with them with 15 minutes left in the third, being like, this fucking sucks. This is not the way. This is a good fucking team. This is not the way we deserve to go out.
Right.
We're going out with a fucking whimper. They're like, my dad's like, fuck, this feels like old Boston, yada, yada. And then like, it was still new Boston, and then it was like with the marathon and everything, like the emotions were insane. I was just walking around my room crying, just like standing up, not like sitting sad, like standing up, like kicking air and fist pumping, and also weeping sad tears of like, holy shit.
I wish. I wish. You know what I'm thinking as you're saying this? I mean, I do have answers. I do have series. They're just all the times I was rooting against the Yankees. Like the greatest series of my life is the reverse sweep. It's the 04 LCS.
Okay, that's my third.
Yeah.
So we'll share it at 3.
Yeah. I mean that's by the way, I know. I get everything you described. I understand, especially being a hockey guy. The fact that that's not your number one is you're so spoiled.
I was just a little young too.
Yeah.
Like I was 04. So like
Right.
I was in high school, but like, I wasn't like drinking in high school. Like
Yeah.
the other two had
could,
a lot
like,
more where
enjoy
like
it.
I was at the game. Although I
Yeah.
went to game. What game? Oh no, I'm thinking of the World Series for that year. I don't think I was at any of those games, the Sox Yankees.
But I mean, to
games.
break the curse and do it through the Yankees in unbelievable fashion.
It's insane. It's insane that it's 3, but it the time of your life when it happened
definitely.
matters.
Huge,
Like I
huge.
was watching that game in the basement with my dad, my mom, like my family, and we had fun. Don't get me wrong, but like I wasn't
Different
out
experience, though.
like with friends and like I wasn't like they share like like we'd fuck around when we got to high school later, but I wasn't like texting friends being like, "This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
This is nuts, dude." Like
Yeah.
calling buddies up like, "Can you fucking believe this? What's happening?"
Right.
Like it's like it's very different, you
Right.
know. Like the Bees Canucks series, like that was the only time I went. That's the only parade I've been to still. But I went to that parade and like we were just fucking get shit faced. Like it was fucking amazing. It was like one of the Canucks series was the best 2 weeks of my life, without
Really?
a doubt. Without a
Wow.
doubt. Like I had so much fun. It was like the city was on fucking fire. It was crazy.
I mean, Vancouver was literally on fire. Right?
Vancouver was
Yeah.
literally on fire, but like just like
But that was also
there
like
was
a time in life where like you know Barstool was like cooking and in a good way. We weren't like bitter and resentful over it yet. And I would imagine at that point in your life, like no like major problems or anything. You're just like a happy guy enjoying sports, which is a hard thing to do as you get older. It's just like not like it used to be. But when you can and the stars align, it's like this is the every night, every other night, whatever. It's just like this is
It's
awesome.
insane. It was
Like sometimes we'll watch at the bar, sometimes we'll watch at home, sometimes we'll lose, sometimes we win. It's like
we have one night a buddy set up a projector in like his backyard, and
the
we had like
best.
40 of us out there
Yeah,
just going
yeah.
fucking screaming. It's like it was. I think with Boston, it happens with every sports team where people be like, when this team's good, the city is just buzzing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was that year in particular. Like it's a hockey town, and you'll notice when a hockey team's good.
Well, that's-
it's what kind of
that's-
people talk about the Knicks here.
the next. So that those are the only series that I guess I have as a winning series. I mean, the Knicks Heat and the Heat played 4 straight years in the playoffs. I think it was like 98, 99, 2000, or 97, 98, 99, 2000. And I mean, it was a literal fucking like brawl.
That's the
every
Van
single
Gundy
time.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
So the one series that I think the Knicks won 3 out of 4 years, and the one year they lost was when there was like a big brawl and PJ Brown like flipped Charlie Ward in the stands. But the year they won was the Van Gundy like holding on to Alonzo's leg and being trounced around. So. And then there was one with Allen Houston hitting like a runner in the lane. That might have been the Van Gundy one. So I guess the only like good series I would have would be the Knicks and Heat. And we used to. It's so crazy that like none of the Barstool fans would ever know me as like a Knicks fan, and like that was my. The Mets have like a weird place in my heart, but because I grew up playing basketball, the Knicks were like far and away the team that I watched the most. And we used to have. For Knicks Heat specifically, everyone would come to our house to watch, and we had like all superstitions, like you sit here, I sit there, this is my chair. I had one guy who just had to sit on the floor. We always made sour cream and onion dip like from scratch with like the Lipton fucking, we get the sour cream and you pour the powder in. We always had sour cream and onion with chips, and I had a shirt that said protect home court by any means necessary. I think it was like a giveaway that I like held on to. And I also had a Knicks shirt that I tied around my head every game. I don't know why, but we had like set superstitions, and everybody came and watched together. And then we watched like 79 to 77 fucking basket brawl games. And those are like the best. And they're not that great memories. They're not that great a series. But and you know what? I'm kind of all over the place here rather than listing them. I think the series that might represent me the best, and this is so bad that I'm even going to say this. This is worse than like fucking my cousin and stuff. The 0-1 Yankees Diamondbacks World Series, where I was just like wholehearedly still rooting for the Diamondbacks even after 9/11. Tony Womack scoring that winning run on and that bloop from Luis Gonzalez because the infield was in. I got a rug burn on my face because I like slid on the ground with Tony Womack. Like I hit my forehead on the rug, and I was just like, I don't care at all about this. I just want the Yankees to lose.
That's an impressive amount of hatred.
Yeah, I mean, and I couldn't. I was like, I remember thinking like, all right, like I'll root for There's some things are bigger. Rico Bosco, some things, man. But then when it came time to play, it was just like, nope, my heart's not in this. My heart's in it for the Diamondbacks. I became the biggest Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson, and Luis Gonzalez fan on the fucking planet, as I always do. So, and that encapsulates me the best.
Yeah,
right?
I think it does.
True hatred for sports. That's the only time I can thrive is through hating in sports, because the things that I love, they never work out.
All right, my number 4 is Bruins Canadians in 11.
Oh, that's
when that was the first round of that was the first round of the playoffs, and I forget what the seedings were. The Bruins were the underdog, I want to say, in that round. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but that went 7. Nathan Horton won it in OT, and that was like a tone setter. We were like, okay, this is gonna be. We're going on a run right now.
And that's like, I mean, that's the rivalry, right?
Yeah. Oh,
It hasn't been in like recent years, but that's the rivalry. Like,
with them, it still is.
yeah.
Like I still, even when they're bad, even though they had not a bit of a run, but they played okay in the bubble. But with them, it doesn't matter. Even if there's been success or not, there's something like xenophobic about it.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Yeah, definitely.
it's not like the Yankees. I honestly, I don't really care about Red Sox Yankees anymore. I care about them as a base, but it doesn't get my blood going anymore. It just doesn't.
You just hate those dirty Canadians, though.
It's like
dirty fucking Montreal.
I get very MAGA about it.
Was that that was the game you wore the bear outfit?
No, that was a different game.
But that was the Canadians, right?
That was Canadian. Yes,
Yeah.
it was in Montreal.
Yeah.
And they were it was so funny. It was because I know when I'm gonna be a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like I know make really good friends with the 2 people next to you.
Yeah.
Because like the
Right.
locals next to you and like fuck around, buy them a beer, and be like,
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna get a little loud, and they'll be like, shut up, he's a good guy, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it was just like. Being there in a bear costume was preposterous.
Dude, was that a bet or something? Did you just do that for content?
No,
or
I just did it for content.
Fun?
Yeah, just rollerblading around Montreal. But like the fans are so fucking funny. Like, you better have heavy hands later, bud. And I was like, all right, maybe I fucking wish I wasn't wearing this. Because if I get the fucking shit kicked out of me by a couple of Canadians in a bear costume, it's gonna make for a great video, but I'm gonna feel like a real fucking dickhead. That was the game where I reference all the time when we're talking about selling alcohol at games. That was a game. I went up to the woman in a bear costume and got, because it was
more, please.
It was a close game, and I said I did get 4 more, which I was allowed to get, not just 2. And I was like, it was late second, early third, whatever it was. Beers should have been just closing, and I was kind of getting my last beers.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, just to be clear, when do you guys close in case overtime happens? And she looked at me like I had 10 heads. She goes, when do we close? When the game ends. I was like, you can buy beers until the game ends? She's like, yeah. You can buy beers until the fucking game
You don't
ends.
understand. That's a miracle. That's amazing.
Canada does
That's
it
an
right,
important
man.
thing. The only thing they do right, but they do that one fucking right. I guess my last. I mean, I guess it's got to be something Knicks oriented.
That was a series too, by the way. That had Andrew Farron scored a goal and just fucking straight up gave the finger to the crowd.
That's great.
In Montreal. Like,
That's
straight
fucking
up
awesome.
hockey glove finger. Bam. Fuck you guys. And it was like, that was when you're like, I loved it. Well, I mean, you thought it regular season too, but you were like, this team's gonna fucking do things,
there's
baby.
some blood in the water
These guys
here,
like each other and they hate everyone else. Fuck yeah.
Fucking middle fingers is it's so childish and awesome. I guess the Knicks. I guess it kind of falls again with the Heat, but it was like the Hawks and there was the Heat when the Knicks were the 8th seed in the lockout year in '99. They beat the the Heat to be like the first team to ever beat the 1 seed, and then they beat the shit out of the Hawks, and then I don't remember who was in I guess probably the Pacers, and then they went to the finals and got their dicks kicked in by Tim Duncan, but that was like. That team I loved. It was Sprewell and Larry Johnson, and they were like this 8 seed that, because of the lockout, like they were the 8 seed, but they were better than that, obviously. So they just, I mean, to beat the Heat as a 1 seed was fucking incredible. So I guess, as sad as this is, the only good series I have. I mean, think about how bad the New York Knicks have been, and they're my good series. I hated this top 5.
That is tough. Well, I got my last 5 is Celtics Lakers, which
is big for you to do basketball.
It's big because we
Yeah.
did a lot of the projection screen in the same house.
Yeah.
And it was like
That'll change your whole experience.
it
man.
was like maybe like 30 of my friends like watching
Inside? Indoors?
No, we're outdoors
Outside.
because
That's
it's all
even better.
fucking
Yeah.
June, right?
Yeah.
And they were all outdoors, just like on the side of his house, and we were just like it was like a house he rented in Newport, and we're just we just get fucked up watching the game, and then like walk
And I mean,
down to bars.
Celtics Lakers.
It's
Is, you know,
Celtics
legendary.
when they fucking and they put a hurting on them. It was a game 6, I think. They won by like 30 or something like that. Or was that game 7? I forget. But one of the games where it was just like we're like pour it all the way on, all the way on, and then Kevin Garnett gave the legendary speech, which is just a commercial. He fucked up. I'm positive of that.
What do you mean?
It's when he says anything is
possible."
possible.
Yeah.
He's an Adidas athlete.
Right.
At the time, their fucking marketing campaign was impossible as nothing.
And he just said it wrong?
He was definitely just supposed to say impossible as nothing.
Wow, that's funny.
Like, I don't know that. I don't think he's ever been a story done on that.
Yeah.
I've always been convinced he meant to say, he was supposed to say
That's
impossible as
fucking
nothing.
funny. Dude, I loved Kevin Garnett as a Timberwolf, and I just hated him as a Celtic. It's one of the worst things that's ever happened to me as a basketball fan, was like going from rooting for him and arguing about how good and underrated he was and how if they, built around him the right way, they would have won. The one year that they did have Spreewell and like Sam Cassell, they were awesome. I loved that team. And then, God, I hated him as a Celtic.
Why? I mean, we loved him.
Because he
obviously.
he really ratcheted up like his fucking, he's kind of like, he's one of those guys who's like gangster, but also then kind of fake gangster at times.
Well, yeah.
And he
He
really-
NBA at 18. You can't be that gangster if you're in the NBA at 18.
But he just, I mean, it's also just because I didn't want the Celtics to win. So he was like awesome for them. But I also I just can't stand, they just get this free pass on like the super team thing.
Yeah.
It's like they just
They
did
do.
it first, really, which is fine. I don't care, but let's call it like it is, But God, and that would be very funny if he was like, shit, sorry, like call up an Adidas exec or talk to his agent.
Yeah,
like,
the
sorry,
plan.
man, I was close.
I was fucking euphoric. I forgot, I was the drunkest I'd ever been, and I hadn't had a drink yet. It was
Right.
just fucking like I couldn't think. What do you want me to
Right.
do?
It's a good thing you guys got that one,
Yeah.
the Celtics, because it would have been that'd be like a Yankees-esque type of like drought too. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Oh,
I mean,
we'd
if it
be
wasn't for
going
that, it
on,
would be like
what, 86
fucking
the
40
last
years.
one?
Yeah. All right, well, let's put put this one to bed because it was terrible. Voicemails today are brought to you by Robin. We've been talking about these for a long time, but I just want to. I usually talk about them on Mail Time because they're our official sponsor. I don't know if I've done it recently here. The Roman swipes are awesome. They are great. You should use them. I do, and sex is so much better because of it. Straight up, I was describing this recently. When you're a normal guy with a normal dick that can't really perform top notch, you want to do certain things, certain positions and certain moves and certain speeds and certain power and how long you do it for, and you just really can't. You're just limited by your natural ability. And then you use a Roman swipe, and you can go like full blown, favorite porn star type of stamina where you just go to town. And I don't even know, honestly, if that's even a good thing for the girl, but it's a great thing for the guy and a great thing for your confidence and how you feel about it. So you get these Roman swipes, you open them up. It's got a little like towelette. You rub it on your dick. It numbs you up. Not totally, though, so you can still feel it and enjoy it. It just gives you that extra, like, probably, let's say it gets like 50% longer. So you just can, I was describing to my brother, and you fights, this too. I'm talking about Roman swipes right now. We haven't done it on KFC Radio recently. When you decide, flip over, turn around, it's pretty much usually like it's a wrap. Yeah. Right? Not with these swipes, dude. You can just keep on hitting it. And it's just so much fun that it keeps on lasting. It's like usually we all know what that means. It's like, yo, turn over, girl. It's like, okay, this is over. It's gonna end in the next 45 seconds. Not with the swipes. You can go. If you're rocking with some Roman swipes, right? And you are, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go do my thing. Which like porn star are you thinking you are? If you had to like pretend, you're on the basketball court, you're like, all right, I'm Kobe. If you're like in bed, you got a Roman swipe on. It's like, who am I?
I don't think I've never thought that before, but gun to my head. Also, I want to address real quick, because if you're watching, I did just come back in a different T-shirt. I'm going to look at an apartment soon, and I just couldn't show up in a Zach attack ever. I'm meeting the owner. And like,
Gotta look good.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, man, I can afford the place, but yeah, I look like a dickhead. You're right. So you
Don't judge a book.
Probably want to give it to someone else. I gotta go, Manuel.
It's funny. I was thinking either that or James Dean.
Nah, James Dean doesn't do it for me.
James Dean is just straight up violent.
He's violent, but he's got a soft dick.
Really?
Yeah, he goes soft a lot.
What?
Yeah, so maybe I am James Dean.
Well, you get the Roman pills to keep your dick hard. You get the Roman swipes to make it last longer. And the best part is you can get it for just $5 when you go to getroman.com/KFC. You sign up for a monthly plan. I recommend getting the hair pills so that you still have a full head of hair. And you get the Roman swipes for just $5. Your dick lasts longer and your sex lasts longer. That's getroman.com/KFC. Voicemails, let's do it.
Okay, so imagine if you're in a bar, right, and the most beautiful woman in the world approaches you. She walks up to you and she says, give me the best movie quote of all time. One that can pick me up, the movie quote that's going to convince me to go home with you. What is it? Go.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's a very hard question. A movie quote that is going to, like, sweep a girl off her feet and be like, we're going to go home and fuck? Like, he kind of categorized it like that. Is it like romance, or is it like we're going to go home and get down?
I would think go home and get down. I haven't the faintest idea how to do that. The first thing that came to mind was Van Wilder. Worrying's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. I don't know why that popped in.
I mean, that's a great, like, philosophical quote. I don't know if that's going to make her fuck. I feel like if you're going for romance, I feel like if you, the first thing that popped into my head romantically is if you're a bird, I'm a bird. You go Notebook with it.
Oh, I say that all the time, but with different things.
Like what?
Like
you'll say that to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
What do you want?
Hungry,
Cheeseburger. Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, it plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays
Yeah.
big time.
Okay. I think Notebook really that works for, the heartstrings. If you're talking about like Pound Town, I don't know. I mean, you gotta I mean, I don't know. That's hard. I'm gonna have to give that some thought. Like a movie, because I'm sure they're out there. I mean, if you look at some of these movies that are like,
I just be like, quack, 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 quack. Or maybe it's not worth winning if you can't win big.
What's that one from?
That's
Miracle?
the Eagles do that. No.
Oh.
That's what the other team does.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. I like the quack, the slow
Yeah.
quack
Well,
chant.
just hit you with the quack.
I mean,
Quack.
this is how it's a miracle I've ever been laid. The first thing that popped into my mind was fucking Back to the Future. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need any roads.
That's like,
Like, where are we
to rape
going?
and Kill you.
Yeah. Are you raping me in an alley?
I'm not interested. Thank you very much.
Wherever we're going, I hope that there's roads.
I like to say in public, if you don't mind, forever.
Like, I'm going to take you deep into the woods. There's no roads. No, the body will never be found. Next up.
Hey, KFC, Feits, Super Producer VC. So listening to your most recent episode, and you were talking about how, like, on your bucket list was for a girl to throw up.
Yeah,
while
that
she
was
blows
a
you.
terrible one.
What was that?
Well,
Pause
I have a
it.
story for you.
That was my most embarrassing. I said it's on my bucket list to have a girl throw up on my dick.
Yeah.
And also, spoiler alert, that's already happened.
Oh my God.
Freshman year of college.
She
I
was just
did her
drunk.
so dirty. No, it was like, I like, when you're like, you like tell a girl to deep throat, like, yeah, go deep now. I like did that while I was coming. It was just a mean, rude thing to do, and it was a catastrophe. She played it off real cool though. Like, I knew what happened because it was dark. I couldn't see it, but I could like feel it. And she just like grabbed the blanket on like the dorm bed and just kind of like wiped it all off and like threw it on the ground. And it was just gone. She covered it up real well. Anyway, that was an embarrassing moment. Equally as embarrassing to explain it. Continue with the voicemail.
One time I was looking up with this guy. This was the first time, and I was like going hard. And I threw up a little bit, and he was like, didn't really pay attention, didn't really say anything. I kept going. He finished. I swallowed because spitters are quitters. And like, I was kind of cleaning up, and he looks down and he goes, did you throw up my dick? And I was like, yeah, just a little bit. And like, kind of try to play it cool. And he was like, it kind of stung a little bit, but then I just like ignored it because it was so good. And I just want to say that I was thoroughly embarrassed. Like when he brought it up, I was just going to try to like dash and act like it didn't happen. And like he could figure it out the next morning when
Listen, bringing that up.
Looking at his bed in the night.
You can't bring it up. I didn't bring it up.
Is that the end of the voicemail? Did you have a question?
Like in the light time. So,
the light time.
Yeah.
Day?
He did call me back for a second time and I went over the second time, but there was no mishap or throwing up this time. So, I mean, it's doable, but apparently it stings. So,
I don't know
good
what
luck
that
with
means.
that if you're
Go
still kind
like
of checking
in?
off your bucket list. You guys have a good day. Today's episode was wild.
Oh, I see what she means. And I actually, because my question was going to be, I do understand how it could sting. My question
like
was
going in, like getting in your dick.
Yeah, it would probably go
Yeah, it just didn't
in the
happen.
tip. It's a bacteria going in
Yeah.
the tip of your dick. I'm sure that really
Yeah.
sucks. And my actually question was going to be like, if you were throwing up on someone's dick,
Oh
would
my
you-
god, this is terrible.
would you then have sex with them? Because I feel like that's not something you
want it
in
inside you?
vagina.
Yeah, I mean, Cardi B will tell you can't even eat wings and then have sex.
Oh,
You know?
right.
Cardi's logic on that, she did a video after WAP saying two things. That one, girls like, what was it? It was like, it hurts when he fucks me. It's like, it's not because his dick is so big. It's because like you have a bacterial infection. And two, that you have to brush your teeth before you suck dick. And I heard that. I was like, why? And then she explained, because like she's like, y'all eating buffalo wings and then you suck somebody's dick and you're like gagging on it, spitting on it, and then he puts it inside you and then you got buffalo wings inside your pussy. And I was like, god damn, that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
The girls we were with that weekend were like, I don't think that's true. And I was like, disprove it. Like, tell me why, because Cardi's making a lot of fucking sense right now. Either way, though, I mean, it's not something you want to happen all the time. But like you said, it's just something where it's like, yeah, that would be cool.
A little surprise.
Yeah.
I thought I couldn't decide if it was stung or stunk, because both would have been.
Yeah, either way.
I get both.
Yeah. But listen, that's the game. You're going to get aggressive in bed. Some things are going to sting. Some things are going to stink. And that's just how it goes. Last voicemail. Let's do it.
Hi, boys. How's it going? Question that I've been thinking about since COVID started. So I know it's become abundantly clear that guys love porn. Since quarantine, though, my husband's been home with me pretty much 24/7. So I'm just wondering, how desperate are you guys to watch porn? Is he doing it before the shower? Is he doing it the second I leave the house for anything?
Girl,
Is he
you are
doing it while I'm putting
answering
our
your own
10-month-old daughter
questions.
down to bed?
Yes.
Yeah, just the royal yes.
Yes.
Overarching yes.
An
I mean,
absolute blanket yes.
That-
He's watching it when he takes a poop. He's watching it when... If you don't get to watch it before you go to bed, you're like, well, when am I going to...
How do you go to sleep?
When am I going to watch? Like, no, because I can go to sleep, like, in bed with a girl and not need to watch porn. But, like, you're like, missing your fix. You're
Yeah.
like, damn... Really wanted to watch Lena Paul tonight.
it's a good one.
She's
a good one.
Good one. She's a king. Dude, one of my favorite fucking when we did the March Madness bracket, the porn bracket, and Trent just quote tweeted it and just goes, "Go on a run, Lena." And I was like, "That's
Yeah.
perfectly like Iowa, like Lena Paul, that monster in Iowa."
Yeah, big time.
Monster
They love
in
a good
Iowa.
old fashioned. Yep. I mean, I feel like this is like Jurassic Park when Dr. Malcolm's life. He's like, life finds a way.
Yeah.
Like we will find a way to watch porn. I mean, and the easy answer is just like, yeah, it's in the shower. Like he'll just bring the phone in with him. But I've said it before. I did the 1 volume stick where I'm listening and watching. We will. As
See,
soon as
I've
you leave the
evolved.
house,
I can just go silent.
I can do anything, brother, but I want to hear. Sometimes, I mean, arguably the opposite. I don't need to watch. I can just listen. A couple claps and thwops and gags and shit. Yep, that works better for me. So, pretty much anytime he's alone, or anytime you get like distance of like 20 feet away from him. Like if you're in the other room, he's probably like sneaking it. You know what I mean? You might just walk into the family room one day, his dick's out. Who knows? All right, let's get into our interviews. Who you want to go with first? This is like a fucking tough call.
We'll go Jake first because he's promoting something.
Ben was an
Ben's
impromptu.
just hanging out.
Yep. All right, let's get into it with Jake Johnson. He's promoting his new show Hoops on Netflix, which we didn't get a chance to watch before the interview. We've since watched it now.
No, let's be clear too. It wasn't out, and we didn't get
Right.
a screener.
Right.
We weren't being lazy.
Right. We
It
just
wasn't
didn't get
out,
the
and we
advanced
didn't get a
copy.
screener. It
And
was
I-
impossible for us to watch.
And I wish we did, because as funny as the interview was, had we seen the opening scene of this show, it's Brockmire-esque. If you remember when we were promoting Brockmire, season 1, episode 1, scene 1, it's like, boom, you're hooked. It's that in Jake Johnson in a way that I've never heard him.
No, me neither.
Because he's always done, sitcoms and like CBS type channels. This is like F-bombs and letting
he's
it
always
fly.
like, I mean, he's in Jurassic Park. We spoke of that earlier. He's like, but he's always the funny guy, but like a little not really in the role where you can just fucking say this.
Yeah, he's an angry basketball coach who's like, fuck this, fuck you, and
you have gerbils
funny.
up your asshole, like, or hamsters. Whatever.
Fuck you, Jeremy. You're probably the one who put the gerbil up his ass. It is really funny. So we didn't really even get into all that in the interview because we hadn't seen it yet. But the rest of it, we talk New Girl. We talk about his relationship with Schmidt. I mean, he's just one of the best dudes we've ever.
We're talking about him building a house in fucking quarantine.
Handy motherfucker. Jake is brought to you by Simply Safe. Here's the thing about home security companies. Most of them trap you. They got high prices, tricky contracts. They got lousy customer support. Physically setting up the kit and the alarm system is a motherfucker. Not here, not with Simply Safe. It's a no-brainer. Think about the world today. Think about the world today. How dangerous it is. People are dying and getting shot and killed. People are robbing. There's no common decency anymore. We don't live in a world anymore where it's just like, hey, leave the doors open, leave the cars unlocked. You can't do that because people are terrible. And you got to protect your loved ones and you got to protect your belongings and your home. We must protect this house. It's like I said with the Knicks. I used to wear that shirt, protect home court by any means necessary. That's what Simply Safe does. They're protecting home court for you and your wife and your husband and your babies and your loved ones and your TVs and your jewelry that you get from Blue Nile. Everything that's in your house, Simply Safe will protect with none of the drawbacks of traditional home security. That means that it's set up in an hour with the kit. You put up the main receivers, you put up the motion sensors, the sound, you put them all up. You can set it up yourself. You don't need some weird home technician coming in your house because let's be honest, when the home technician comes, that's the robber. Those are the people casing the joint. They show up and they're like, hey, I'm here to set up the home security. And really what they're doing is finding the lay of the land so that they can come back and fucking rob you. Not here. They just send it to you. You set it up yourself. Nobody is casing the joint. Also, no hidden fees. No, they don't trap you in the contract forever. There's no technician required. There's no setup from them required, and there's no you got to sign up for like 5 years. It's just $15 a month, and they're not gonna trap you for years on end. No pushy sales guys. No fine print. None of that. Best overall home security in the world right now. Go to simplysafe.com/KFC Radio. That's SIMPLI safe.com/KFC Radio. Get free shipping on the entire setup, plus a 60-day risk-free trial. That's 2 months where you can try it out. And if you don't feel safe, you get your money back. Nothing to lose. Simplysafe.com/KFC Radio. So yeah, let's get into it. Jake Johnson.
There he is.
What's up?
What's up,
Look
my
at
man?
You rustic, scruffy son of a bitch in the wood. What are you in a cabin or something? You in a sauna?
You know, I'm in my backyard and I built this fucking thing.
Wow. Flex on them.
You know how I learned to build it? YouTube.
So you working with like high-powered machinery just straight off YouTube?
Yes.
Dude.
So I did construction when I was growing up, but I was always low man on totem pole. And when quarantine happened, you know, I've been kicked out of my line of work since March. And after about a month of sitting around feeling retired, I started going absolutely bonkers. Mm-hmm. So I got on YouTube and realized the internet could teach you anything. So I built this office.
Holy
Whoa.
shit,
Jake,
Listen,
that's fucking nice, dude.
Are you fucking with me? This is for real. This is a real story.
Swear to God. And my idea of it is I didn't have any help from anybody. So the image of me roofing this was comedic.
I can imagine, yeah.
The amount of blunders was absolutely comedic, but I had the hours in the day. So today is the first day it's officially done. Now, I'm not going to lie, there is an ants problem. As we're talking, I've maybe been bit 2 or 3 times. We are going to flow past that. We're going to live in the good. We're going to live in the good.
I feel like, people did what you just described, except they were like, look, I built a little desk or, a little like tchotchke. You built a
house, dude. That's the bigger than my apartment.
I built an 8x12 8-foot high structure with a slanted roof. The lowest point is 6 feet. The highest point is 8 feet.
That's
Oh.
fucking.
Were you?
I was gonna learn the ukulele. I didn't even strum that thing once. You built a house.
Are you? Were you handy though to begin with? Like, yeah.
So I grew up doing construction.
Right.
My mother had junk shops growing up, and my job was to always, we would go to like flea markets and buy old furniture, and then she and I would take them apart and rebuild them.
Got it.
But I was always, as I said, low man. So my whole job in construction was, I was on a crew where we were building sound studios in New York. All I did was the, insulation. So any job that nobody wanted to
I was
do.
gonna say the worst, right? That's the stuff that. I mean, I remember as a kid being told that'll give you cancer and make you scratch your skin off if you just.
I was covered from ankles to ears in plastic and Vaseline on the skin, but that's all I ever did. So this was the first job where I thought like, all right, there's nobody else, as well as it's hidden in like the back corner of my yard. So I always knew if it's a disaster, then it's just a pile of weird wood. And at any point I knew I could quit. Like,
yeah,
nobody was counting on it. It's not like I'm like, this is a home for my sick family member. No, it's just an ant den that I'm doing press on.
Did you feel accomplished afterwards? Like, did you feel like a man?
I have felt for a long time. The cowardice I felt about doing the roof and doing the rafters and the bird's mouth cuts.
I don't even know what the fuck any of that means, Johnson.
You just looked. Was that taught to you on YouTube? You just dropped a bird's mouth cuts on us?
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Let me dumb it down for you. But there's like certain moves that I had to do that I didn't realize at a 42-year-old father how the fear of God would enter my body about being on a roof and like using a hand screw and putting something into wood. But I would be up there and I would give myself so many self-talks of like, stop being a chicken shit. And then my hand would be like, oh God, I'm an actor. So once this is finished, this is the most proud place I am of my home. I'm like, all right, like I'm still here.
I'm sure you've got a beautiful, mansion over in the yard. I would live in that thing if I were you. That'd be like,
thank you for considering my economics as a mansion. Talk to my business manager.
I am not handy at all, and I blame my father because he is exceptionally handy. My dad could have built what you built. He built when we were kids. He built us a tree house that was more just like a freestanding. It had electricity, the whole nine. But I can remember when we were growing up, he would be. I remember I called it the damn hammer. That's what I thought a hammer was called, a damn hammer, because my dad would always be like, "Get the damn hammer." So I just, but so that was always.
That's really true.
Swear to God,
The
it
damn
sounds like
hammer is
a made-up script from a sitcom. I said to my mom, "Here's the damn hammer," and she was like, "Tim, we got to clean it up a little bit, pal." But I remember when we would be like, "Come on, son, we're gonna go build some shit." I would be messing up and screwing up, and he'd be like, "Just give it to me, let me do it," and I would never learn. So it's his fault. I'm just.
I got to tell you on that because I've got 6-year-old twins, and it's really hard to be patient when the kid's fucking up because I would get help here, and you're trying. The right move, like. I know the move is I've got 2 little girls and I'm raising them to be handy. I'm raising them to be gritty. I'm raising them to just be 2 humans who can fight on planet Earth. So I go like, honey, do me a favor and grab me the nail. And then I'd go, that's a screw. You idiot. She'd go like, okay. And I'd be like, you have made my day significantly worse. And then you have to like take a breath and go, all right, this is actually... You are not my apprentice. The 40 minutes that you have the energy to stay out here, I'm not building for these 40 minutes. We're just hanging and kind of talking.
Right.
That take a breath is the worst because like, yes, it's the smart thing to do. It's the right thing to do and all that. But in that breath, before you exhale, you're just like, I'm a fucking lunatic. Like I'm an actual insane person.
I had a funny moment yesterday when you say the damn hammer thing. So I try to keep my language pretty good around my kids. Quarantine hasn't been the best for that. But the only time that I guess I say like hell or whatever is if somebody gets hurt. Like if they fight with each other, I'll say like, what the hell happened? And I didn't realize it until yesterday. We were in the kitchen, and if you look here, you see a Band-Aid. I had one of those weird finger cuts where all of a sudden I looked and there was blood all over here, and I didn't know what happened. And I went like this, and my daughter walked up and she was concerned, and she just goes, "Daddy, what the hell happened?" And I'm like, first of all, why? And then I realized, oh, whenever she's hurt and it seems serious, so for some reason I add in a hell, but I had to go like, that's not okay to say that.
How was the pandemic homeschooling, actor/dad? I mean, everything, it was a nightmare.
Takeaway actor. I am officially, since quarantine, I am a stay-at-home dad, and I'm not a teacher. I respect what Max is doing, how he's doing it for pay. He's an Instagram teacher. But
he teaches for 5 minutes, just gets that clip and gets it out.
He uses the money he makes from Instagram and he hires a teacher. That businessman is always scheming.
When we had Max on, we asked him a question and he didn't skip a beat. Now, I have not super strong takes on this actually, because I've waned with my opinion. I used to firmly believe that Nick should have ended up with Reagan, and in my current rewatch, because I rewatched New Girl nonstop. You guys, did you know when you were filming it, like, you were going to be on the pantheon of sitcoms? Like, once it hit Netflix, I feel like it really, really took off. It's whenever I tweet about Nick Miller, it goes viral almost every time.
That's really, I'll be honest with you. I think first of all, no, we didn't. The difference with New Girl, which was frustrating, was I think we all knew we had somewhat of a dream team. I think we had a great cast on that, and we had a killer crew. And Liz Merriweather as a showrunner is a monster creatively. And we had some killer writers. We were not a show that was widely loved while we were on. Mm-hmm. So the first season, we got a lot of attention and people liked it. And we had a moment of like, oh, we could be one of those shows. But by season 3 and season 4, it was more when I would go out, people would go, "You still doing that show?" And I'm like, "Yes, asshole, it's on tonight." So it's forming a second life, but more, I think New Girl has always been niche. I think there's a group of people who love it, and to them it's huge, but there's still a huge population who have never heard of it and never will. And I mean, I guess that's more how everything is really fragmented, but New Girl has always been, in my opinion, very loud in a very small group.
I think you're underselling it now. I think that group has grown exponentially with everything. When it gets on streaming, it gets that second push. I don't know why I watched it. I watched the premiere, and I wasn't really.
I don't know why I watched your stupid fucking show.
No, it was like I wasn't really. What's that?
With New Girl, it's the only thing I've ever done where, and I'm not saying you did this, Nick, but people for that movie, men, especially dudes, would always have to say, "My girlfriend made me watch this fucking show, but here's what I will say." And I'll go, "I don't need the first half. I'm in it. I like it."
Yeah. But it was like, I wasn't a big, I hadn't really watched many network sitcoms in a while,
right.
But for some reason, that just grabbed me. And I loved it episode 1. I would tweet about it almost every night. I'd be like, "This show is unbelievably funny. Trust me, give it a shot." And everyone who watched it loved it. And then now that it's on streaming, I think everyone, literally, I tweet about it all the time. And every time I bring up Nick, it's like, I said you're a top 5, Nick Miller's a top 5 sitcom character of all time. And I firmly believe that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I'm
a TV guy. So growing up, I cared more about TV than movies. Being on a sitcom that meant something was always kind of the main goal. For me, it was Cheers, it was Roseanne, it was Taxi. It was a certain type of American sitcom that we watched growing up and my whole family liked, and I wanted to be on that. New Girl, playing Nick in the moment of New Girl, he never felt like a character that anybody outside of the inner circle cared about. And what I mean by that is I could do Nick and improvise my ass off and make Max and Zoe and Damon laugh. But Nick wasn't the character of New Girl. There's Zoe, and then Schmidt was the breakout. And then, Nick and Winston started getting their wings as the show went on.
Really?
But so I think so.
I was right away. Nick was my guy. Nick, I think I find Nick to be an exceptionally relatable character, which probably says bad things for me. But but like everything about him, I'm like, oh, this guy, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
This is exactly how my brain works. This is perfect. I never thought that. I never felt like Nick was a secondary character.
I would be interested to hear what your castmates would say about that, because I think you're just being humble because it's your character. I think he's the guy.
Well, I'll put it like this: neither Nick or Winston was ever nominated for anything.
Yeah,
well, neither was Always Sunny. That we always say that every year with
Always Sunny never was.
Never been nominated for a thing.
For nothing, not a thing.
Isn't that wild?
It's insane.
It's
They're on year
ridiculous.
15.
And then like this year, Lil Dicky Dave gets nominated for nothing, and like,
is that true?
I don't.
I'll be honest with you. I was saying that more just to try to create an argument for the sake of bullshitting. I've never given a shit about the awards. I've never watched them before I was in this business and post. But that's shocking about It's Always Sunny. I worked with Rob on Mythic Quest this year.
Yeah, that was a great show, but your episode was my favorite episode. It was unbelievable.
Was so deep and so different, and like such a departure from the rest of that season. But I mean, that was some shit. You guys did some acting in that. Man.
I got to give Rob a lot of credit. I never knew Rob, so here's the truth of me doing that episode. They shot It's Always Sunny on the lot near us at New Girl, and New Girl did insane hours. So we were doing 12-hour days, 5 days a week to make 22 minutes of an improvised show, or a show not fully improvised, but a bit show. And they were rapping at lunch every day. So my big thing while I was on New Girl was I really wanted to make it one of those shows that we were the fun show. Mm-hmm. But what happened was we were all burning out, cast, crew, writers, everybody, Liz. So my whole thing was, how do we do a 7-hour day? Do basic coverage so that we are like It's Always Sunny, because if so, we can maybe be on for 10 years because there is an energy that maybe we could keep this monster going. And so I always wanted to experience working with Rob or Charlie or Glenn. And then this Mythic Quest came along and Rob was directing it. And I thought, great, I finally get to see how Rob moves and how fast he goes. And I told my wife, I left the first morning and I was leaving at like 6 a.m. And she goes, when do you expect to be home? And I'm like, with Rob fucking directing, I'll be home at noon.
Yeah, right.
We get there and it's going kind of slow. And I go to Rob at like 10 a.m. when we're like still on the first scene. I'm like, my guy, Always Sunny, Rob. What's going on here, Big Daddy? What are you thinking? And he goes, yeah, I'm really excited to shoot this one differently than I've ever done, especially this episode. It's going to be a movie. And the voice in my head, literally out loud to myself, it just said, you fucking dummy, you always lose. But I just had to lean it. And then he goes, not only that, but we're going to shoot out in Long Beach. So I'm like, oh, Long Beach for Fortune. So I got like some like shady hotel room nearby in a Econo Lodge. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. But I'm glad I did it because he's a monster talent. And I'm proud of being part of that.
It came out incredible. It is like it's a little movie, you know? I mean, it's some deep shit.
Rob's a creative monster. I didn't know that about him. I haven't watched Sunny as religiously as others. I've checked it out for the bits, and I think it's funny. But working with him on that, like, he's got a very clear vision. And I'm like, all right, this dude will be like, he's the real deal.
I never realized how much he had to do with. I knew he was a creator of Sunny. I know, the whole story about like the first episode cost $200 to shoot and all that stuff. But I didn't realize. I think he was on Mark Maron's podcast, and I listened to it. And I didn't realize he does everything. Like, he's the showrunner of Sunny, which I didn't even know what a showrunner was until he explained it. But he's like the showrunner, the writer, producer. Like, he does all of it.
He's mostly also the studio. He's a super smart guy. Like, he's playing the game. Like, when I first started working with Joe Swanberg, I loved working with him so much because we were doing indies and we were self-financing them. And he was viewing the game differently. And talking to Rob's doing that, but he's doing that with major networks. And he's sitting at the table with network heads as a writer, as a showrunner, as an actor, as a director, as essentially the studio at times. It's really impressive, and it's not really talked about.
I had no idea.
And again, not a single nomination. It's
No, and I'm showing up on his set, and I'm not even fully memorized. I'm like, dude, we both have a lot on our plate. You're doing that. And last night, I should have done my homework more, but I was like watching TV. Have you seen like Listing Impossible? Because that's
And he's super hot too, which like also isn't fair.
It's so annoying. When he got ripped, that was so annoying.
Gentlemen, I don't care to talk about his attractive appeal. That's not why I'm on this.
It's almost exclusive what we do on this show.
You guys talk about punks.
The new show, totally different creative experience doing the animation. Which is that something you've done before? I feel like you got a great voice for it. If you haven't done it,
I played Peter Parker in Spider-Verse.
Oh, right, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've done that. I did like little bits here and there. I did a show called Alan Gregory with Jonah Hill 7-8 years ago. I love animation, and I don't love it for the obvious reasons where it's quote unquote easier.
Yeah,
I love it because there's a lot about acting I really don't like, and a lot of it has to do with like I don't like going through hair and makeup. Through quarantine, I realized I'm going to try to never do a photo shoot again. I don't like, there's a whole part of acting where we have to be like actors / ugly models, like where, we have to stand and have somebody go like, more energy. And I'm going like, some actors can do it. And Mark Ruffalo can do it. And he's cool. I don't ever want to do it again. I don't like it. So voiceover cuts that out, and all you're doing is going into a booth. You have the material, the other actor's standing opposite you. They dim the lights, so it's you in a little spot, them in a spot, and you get to perform. And so I love that aspect about it, and that's what pulled me into wanting to do hoops. And wanting to produce was really for me, because this is Ben Hoffman's vision more than anything. I wanted to have a big say in how we did it, in terms of recording alone or recording with others. And I wanted to have a big say in casting. So you were,
because I know a lot of them, sometimes you're alone, you're not with the other.
I tried to do it with people as much as we could. There are just times with scheduling it couldn't work, but all the main cast, I did at least the first few episodes for us to find the tone. We would do it together.
And so the premise here is like kind of a grizzled high school basketball coach looking to make it big, and
it's Bad News Bears meets Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's a really hard R.
What a sell!
That is,
that's what that's kind of how I feel like it at its core. Like Ben Hoffman's sense of humor is he takes little moments and keeps heightening and heightening and heightening and heightening, and I think that's where his funny really comes from, which is Curb-esque. And then the Bad News Bears is obviously I'm the coach of a team of losers, and I really want to be a winner, but I'm just not a winner. So, it's a really loud show. It's really R-rated, but I think it's really funny. And it's quote unquote offensive. I think that'll be the soft backlash until people watch it. But I don't think it's offensive to any specific group. Mm-hmm. I think it's just loud. And so some people I don't think will like it by the nature of it. And that's fine. What I tell to those people is you have so many other things to watch. If you don't like it,
so you're like bracing. You're kind of already bracing for a bit of like a backlash, as you said.
No, I'm not. Hopefully not. But in 2020, everybody is so divided and so opinionated. And the whole core of this show, the only reason I wanted to do it was I just feel like it'd be nice to do something that is not smart, not deep, has no message, and is just for bits. Mm-hmm. Ben and I, when we were first talking about it, we were both in the comedy scene when we were first coming up. And 5-6 nights a week, I'd be on a different stage doing improv. And all you were thinking of doing is entertaining the people on stage and then being funny backstage with the other performers. And it was all bits for bits' sake. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily want every project to be a message or a statement or to have depth to it. I like that some projects do, but I do think entertainment can unify and say, you don't need to know my politics. You don't need to know where I stand on this. You are allowed to vote for somebody who I detest, and I'm allowed to vote for somebody who you detest. And we can both think this moment is funny, and maybe we can see it as funny together.
Preach, man.
That's what I'm hoping. I don't know if it'll happen.
It's crazy that needs to be considered like a profound statement, but it really is. And it's something that like everybody has lost sight of. And I commend you for even trying to do it. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's even like achievable, attainable, because the world is so.
But here's what I hope. There will be people who hate this show from the left. There will be people who hate this show from the right. That's
good.
fine.
That's
But
when you
it's
know
fine.
you did something right. You know?
What I'm hoping for is there's a lot of people in the middle who go,
Mhm.
yeah, Hoops is really stupid. It's not a great show. They're right. There's a lot of dick jokes. There's a lot of vagina jokes. There's a lot of every joke by every gender and every race. And what we're hoping for is people go, yeah, I smoked a joint. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was it. I don't have any deep thoughts about it. It was funny.
I love how you like said it like that, where it's just like, I do feel like everyone who's kind of coming up now, as far as like comedy or comedians or podcaster, like everything has to have that like deep moment, that statement they're making where it's like, no man, we're just fucking joking about dicks. That's it. It's yes, you're right. It's sophomoric and it's stupid, but it's making me laugh today.
But it is so what we really tried to do, and I don't know if we pulled it off, but we tried to not offend any specific group. And what we tried to do is if we were going too hard at one thing to make sure that the other group got it equally.
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing that I wanted to do in this was casting. So everybody we cast is a gunner. There's no weak link. There's nobody we cast because their name would help sell it. Meaning, if it's me and Wriggle and I'm going hard at Wriggle, well, Wriggle's coming hard at me. Cleo King, who plays the principal, the reason we cast her was because she did New Girl and she used to kill Nick. So we would go back. She did the one where she was the cop and Nick was lying. And
an all-time scene. An all-time scene.
So that's Cleo King. And so while we were doing this and Ben was saying, I want a principal, she's got to be really tough. I'm like, I've got the person. It's Cleo. And as long as we can improvise together, so we would go in the booth and we would say that, you know, Cleo King, what she likes to do is she calls it letting it rip. So she'd be like, let me make this clear. Am I allowed to let it rip? And I'd be like, yeah. And then she'd be like, you motherfucker. And just unleash comedy. And so for that, it was really fun to do. And, you know, I truly hope people get a lot of laughs out of this show because that's the whole point of it. This is just have a beer, watch a show. Hopefully you laugh.
You mentioned improv a couple times now. Did you get on Middleditch and Schwartz?
What is get on their show or did I watch it?
No, did you watch it? Are you a fan of it?
No, I have. I know Ben will.
It's incredible. If you, I mean, obviously you would probably fit right in perfectly with them, but you got to give it a
I improvise. So Ben used to do a show called Snow Pants or something like that. And years ago, season 1 of New Girl years ago, I did his show and Thomas was in it. And those two dudes were murdering at such a level that, you know, when you're on stage and you do a scene and there's laughs. And then another person comes in, and then there's another level of laughs. I was like, Thomas, and I didn't know who he was yet. It was before his HBO show. Yeah. But I was like, oh, this dude's a murderer. And then he and Ben together, I was like, oh, so I haven't seen the show, but I know that those two are doing it. And I was not shocked that it's successful.
I'd never seen. We interviewed Ben for he was promoting Sonic like before the pandemic, and he was telling us about Middleditch Schwartz. He was telling about I was going to come out, and I told him I'd never seen improv, never once in my life.
Haven't?
No, I hadn't. And he was like, "Good." He's like, "Don't ever go see it. I want your first experience to be like, I want to see what it's like if your first experience is our show." And it was unbelievable. I very much enjoyed it.
Ben is a comedic killer.
Mm-hmm. He's unbelievable. We've actually like become fairly friendly with him. Like he's been on the show probably 3 times since then. He just like wakes up in LA and he's like, let's do a Zoom. And he eats his cereal during it. It's wild. But he was like just getting to know him a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, you are. I kind of just thought of him as John Ralphio, which I feel like it's probably a whole actors fall in where you just get kind of, it's not typecast, but just people imagine you as such a character. And I'd always just thought of him as kind of like the crazy zany guy. And the stuff I've seen from him recently is just, it's otherworldly.
He's a killer. He actually, I believe this is accurate, but for the pilot of New Girl, when we had formed our cast, before you shoot it, you have to do one last table read in front of the network before they fully release the money. and we had not figured out who Coach was yet. And I believe Ben Schwartz came in and read that part.
No shit.
Just as a favor to like make sure it got financed.
Really?
I believe I know Ben did one of those early on, and I think it was that one.
Very cool. Well, listen, the way you speak about everybody else being the comedic killer and being talented, you're on that list too, bud. You are. It sounds like you're too humble to ever admit it, but rest assured, you are right there on that list as well. So
I remember when I did like one of my Nick Miller tweets, and someone replied like, "That's the greatest physical actor of our generation," and I was like, you know what? I think he's right. It was. I honestly think it was a reply to the scene where you were lying and you said, by the way, on that real quick, do frogs really die if you feed them? Was it cereal? Like, that felt like a personal like anecdote you threw in. Like
a lot of I will say a lot of those improvs were either alts or just improvised. But one that I know that people will ask like, how similar are you to Nick Miller? And the truth is like, I am and I'm not with every character I play. I look like him, I sound like him, and when I'm allowed to improvise, it's the bullshit that comes out of my own brain. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is not. It's bullshit. But one improv I did is Nick that has come back to life that I keep hearing is I'm not convinced I know how to read. I've just memorized a lot of words. Yeah. And the reason I know that to be true is in my saddest, deepest moments, I still am not sure I know how to read. And it's really come back again with trying to teach my kids because they're, entering first grade. So we'll like look at words and I'll go like, and I really know I don't know how to read because I can't sound out words I've never heard. So if I've never heard a word, like let's say armadillo, right? Let's say I'd never heard it and I've seen it live. A normal person's going to say like armadillo. Mine might be armadillico. And I'm like, that has to be because I don't fundamentally know how to fucking read. So I don't think I know how to read, but I think I have an insanely good memory of words.
That explanation kind of sounds like me in water. Like I'm not convinced I know how to swim. I just think I cannot die in water.
That's exactly right. But there's a difference. Knowing how to swim means something. So if you can tread water and move around in water, it's not swimming.
It's not swimming.
Right.
I'm not officially reading. So like I'll sit and I'll read a book, right? Like I'm reading Vonnegut right now, Hocus Pocus. I'm not really reading it. I'm just saying all the words I've memorized together and then trying to find meaning to them.
That is unbelievable.
Cool, man. All right. Well, so the new show is Hoops on Netflix. The cast is great. Oh, we're about to talk to Natasha like right after this. Anything?
Natasha's a killer.
Anything we should drop on her? Any little tidbits or jokes you got for us?
No, not really. Just, honestly, I was so happy she did the show. I'd been a fan of hers for so long. And, going back to the thing, the wife character, the ex-wife, if you don't get a comedic killer who can just improvise in the booth, that's a boring character who's kind of a victim to Coach's tyrant behavior. The beauty of someone like Natasha is even if the scene wasn't written well, she's going to improvise and make it funny. And if we're in the booth together, it was one of those parts, once she said yes, we knew we didn't have to worry about that character because we knew it was going to be funny.
The show is Hoops. It's on Netflix. Comes out August 21st. So everybody go watch it. And thanks as always for the time.
By the way, before you go, we got to ask you one quick question that we asked Max, and he didn't skip a beat on his response. I'm wondering what yours is. Who should Nick have ended up with?
Right, I think he would end up with Jess.
Yeah, I think so too. I had this vision of Reagan, and then I'm rewatching it. I'm like, actually, their relationship wasn't that good. I thought for some reason I thought it was great, but it wasn't.
Well, what I think what happened in that era was it was really fun in that show to have all new energy.
Right.
Because I remember before she came in, Fred Armisen, Zoe was gone because she was having a baby. Mm-hmm. So there was a bunch of episodes where you realize when you take a cast and you take out the lead character and replace it, it was a really trippy experience where you're like, well, it just changes everything. Like every dynamic was different.
Yeah, because I never thought of New Girl as even having a lead. I thought I found it very Sunny-esque, which I guess is what you wanted, where everyone was incredibly important. There wasn't one character who was like the star, but everyone was the star.
From the inside, it felt very different for us. For us doing it, we were on Zoe's show, And then as it got going, it became all of our shows. But it was called New Girl. So for us in it, we knew what when the network wanted to really promote it, they put Zoe's the one, and I really don't think she's gotten enough credit for that show. It was her face across the country. Mm-hmm. She lifted that show up. The reason everybody watched that pilot and gave the show a chance is her. So eventually everybody else shined, but Max, Lamorne, myself, Hannah, without Zoe carrying the weight, that first 6 episodes, we're canceled.
Yeah, that's true.
But so inside, I think we all and we all had to audition for Zoe, and Zoe had to say yes to all of us.
Really?
Sure. I did a chemistry read with Zoe where I was essentially auditioning for Zoe. We did the scenes from the pilot where she and I have chemistry. And then she and I texted, and we're both kind of she's like, I hope, let's make this happen. And I'm like, thank you very much,
man. That's
my boss.
That's a life changer right there. Thank God she did it. So great stuff, man. Thanks as always, and good luck.
Always fun talking to you.
Catch you later, bud.
Okay. All right, so that's Jake. Him not being able to read is so fucking funny.
So funny, and also
and so genuine. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
Too.
It makes sense.
I see what you mean. When he said Armadipico or Darmadipico, I was like, bro, where are you getting these P's and C's from?
Yeah. But he's so funny that that's how your brain would fuck it up.
Yeah.
Armadipico. All right, Ben Schwartz now. Ben he's the king of the impromptu interview. He just tweets us, send a Zoom, let's do it. And he's my favorite interview because of that.
I think Ben's our friend.
Well, at the end of this interview, I said, dude, you're our favorite celebrity. He was like, don't ever fucking call me that again. So I feel like if Ben ever comes back to Riverdale, he's in the city, I feel like we could hang out and he would enjoy it.
I think so too.
Ben is brought to you by Miller Lite. So when we do finally sit down with Ben, because we're friends, I'm going to say, Ben, what do you want? And Ben's going to say, give me a cold Miller Lite. Because Ben has good taste. Ben is a successful man. Ben is a creative man. Ben has, he's got his head on right, and he knows how to share a beer with the guys, have some laughs, and he knows that the number one beer, the only drink you can pick when you're doing a night like that is Miller Lite. The original beer that's great taste, less filling for you and the guys, you and the girls, you and your family, you and your friends, or you just by yourself to kick back and have a good night. I know our buddy Carl had to drink 1,000 of them because of, what was that? That was the Red Sox, White Sox, Cubs bet. And he had to was he doing the 999 challenge because they lost or something?
No, for every single run and every single run the White Sox got, he had to eat a hot dog and drink a beer.
Why?
And they put up 10. Holy
moly. But it is great taste, less filling. So you should go out there and enjoy them responsibly. But even our guy Carl, he as horrible of a sentence as that is, he also probably had to enjoy himself sipping on some nice cold Miller Lites while watching a baseball game. Even when it's bad, even when you lose the bet, even when your team is losing, Miller Lite can make that an enjoyable time. It's great taste with only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. However, you and your friends want to enjoy Miller Lite this summer, whether you're doing it at the bar, socially distanced, whether you're getting delivered to your house, drinking at home, doing it over Zoom. That's the original beer. You can get it delivered by going to MillerLite.com/KFC. That's MillerLite.com/KFC to find the delivery options near you. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewery Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Ben Schwartz, what up?
Benjamin.
Whoa, baby.
There he is.
Happy birthday to the mess. Happy birthday to the mess. Happy birthday to the goddamn mess. Happy birthday to the mess.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, a day early. I just got my Krusty Burger hat, guys. I'm really looking to show it off.
That's awesome.
If this was yesterday, Ben would have been like, fuck off, we're not doing a Zoom. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, guys. How are you? How is everything?
The impromptu Ben Schwartz Zoom is one of my favorite things in media right now. I love it.
You give me a reason to Zoom. John, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you very much, man. That means a lot.
You look great. You look more groomed. You look put together. I like your stash.
I got a haircut. I'm wearing a mask. I got the whole thing. You know what sucks about the stash is I have wax and I want to wax it up and look like a 1970s villain. and but the mask situation. So you put a mask on it, you ruin your face hair.
Oh, okay. So you can do it when you're at home and groom it, and then presumes it's amazing, but in real life you don't get to show it off.
Right.
Well, what he's showing off now, he loves this bandana around the neck.
I was going to say, this is a birthday boy bandana if I've ever seen it in my goddamn life. That is a birthday boy bandana. He's about to rob a small saloon, and he's about to get up on his horse and figure it out.
This bandana is how I like to play everything, too. It's both Bloods and Crips. So, like, anyone tries to say something, I'm like, go on.
You're on everybody's side, just in case. You're the ultimate politician right now. What do you have to report, John? What are you going to do? How old are you? Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Here we go. This one should be a little easier.
I bet you're 33 years old.
Ooh, close, real close.
Very close.
31.
Right in between.
32. This doesn't work. I want it to work so badly, but it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Maybe it does.
What's been up with you, man?
I don't know, guys. We're all trying our best.
Yeah. Are you doing any work at all? Is there anything you can do?
I'm writing a script. I owe a script. I sold this Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell and I are going to be in a movie, which is very exciting. So I'm writing that now, which has been exciting. But even in quarantine, the part of what happened? You guys were going to write something, and then I sent you an email, and then you guys gave up.
Yeah, it was basically like once you were like, it's a pretty good idea. We're like, all right, we're done. We nailed it.
We got our seal of approval. We're good.
I was excited for you guys.
It's not. We're gonna do it. It's just I think we started doing it we started talking about it right.
Oh, wait a minute. Wardrobe change,
John. I'm sorry.
New lid.
Wow, that is.
I thought you said, is that Selma?
Oh no!
And this is Selma.
No, Zelda. That hat is a fucking all-timer right there. Holy shit! Let me ask you a real question though, because like you said, we do want to write this thing. When you write something, and do you have like 50 other projects going, or do you have to like zero in on one project? Because we do like so much shit that I feel like if I want to do this, I want to do it right. But it's just not realistic. We have a podcast, a radio show, a video show, an app, what I mean? Come over here. Hey, how you doing? I do a lot of work. You know?
Watch out, Tyler Perry, a new media moment. I do a bunch of stuff at the same time, but when I'm writing, you need a bunch of hours in the day to dedicate to it. You do, right. But you can do a couple things at the same time. Although it makes you. I remember I was filming something and writing a movie in my trailer and on my off days, and I got like very sick. I got because you're not stopping. You're like never sleeping or stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you set aside you're like, all right, tomorrow noon to 4, I'm writing.
Well, I'm not that good. People do that. What I do is when I have a deadline, I'm really good because I have a little bit of OCD. So I like to finish things by when they want to be finished.
Right.
So, but when it's like, this is so open-ended. Like when I finish the movie, who knows if it's even going to get filmed, A, but B, also, who knows when anything's going to get filmed yet.
Right.
Things are slowly coming back. I've been asked to do 1 or 2 things that film, and I was just too afraid. I was just not quite ready to be in part of a crew yet. Although maybe if the circumstance was right.
Are you afraid of getting sick, or are you afraid of like getting yelled at, like for being in public kind of deal?
Getting yelled at by people because I'm doing it?
Yeah, like people.
I'm afraid of getting sick.
See, I'm way more scared of people than like. Don't get me wrong. I know Corona's not good and all that stuff. I do all the proper precautions, but like people scare me a lot more. Just an endless barrage of people yelling at me. I'd rather have a dry cough.
You know what that says so much? It's like potentially die, no big deal. Get shamed, I ain't doing it. Nope.
There was a funny line where like when you sometimes you have agents and managers, and so I have managers, and something came along, and I was like, man, I just don't think this is what I risk it for. You know what I mean? This project, and they're like, you shouldn't risk it for anything. What are you talking about? And I was like, yeah, you're right. What am I even saying? But I'm afraid of getting. We've been very safe because Los Angeles is really not doing great. So I've been very, very safe whenever I can. So I was like, being around a bunch of people, it's all I want to do. Yesterday, I was going by somebody, and I got to like fist pound somebody, and it felt so good. And it was the first time I like connected with someone in so long. That's not like someone I'm in a relationship with. That's so long that I was like, oh man, I miss just that like connection. And so I mean, I immediately went like, because it was coming. And I couldn't say no. I couldn't. I'm from New York. You can't say no to a fist bump.
No, never.
So it's like, so I like did it, and I was like, oh my God, it's the first time I've like had contact with anybody and whatever. But then immediately in my car, because someone did it through the window, I was like, clean. But yeah, I am very ready to act and like do live shows, but it's just not. I don't think it's time yet. I think we got to wait till whatever.
You guys got the merch going for Middle. You guys got sick merch for Middleditch Schwartz. Speaking of live,
yeah, and we because we have these guys that Aaron Hansen has this company. Aaron Hansen, who does Game Grumps, has this company that does like merchandise, and but we always thought that like the fans. You guys must have the same thing. Our fans are so smart and talented, way more talented than we are. And so they'll like do these fan drawings. So we'll basically be like, hey, we'll pay you money. We'll give you money for what you've already done. And we'll use it. And then they get their art kind of like put all over the place. And we put their name on it somewhere and on the website. So
that one poster, one fan art poster that had like every character from Middleditch Schwartz Improvs was fucking awesome.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I feel.
What's the scoop with that? Any like any chatter from Netflix about renewing it? Or
zero. There's nothing positive yet. So we'll see. I wonder what happens. Also, even if we got greenlit, we couldn't do it for months. I think our next shows are slated for like next year, April.
Next April, Jesus.
And I was so excited to see after. I was so excited to see after the specials if like more people came to shows, or we can go to different cities, or maybe go to Europe or something. But now I don't. I think we'll just wait.
April's a long time, but at least you got that Sonic. I called that, by the way.
They did.
Good for me. I said in our
theater, right?
I said in our first interview, I was like, "This is a franchise." I saw like the pre-screen or whatever, and I walked out. I was like, "That's 1,000." And I'm sure you guys knew that while filming it too. Like, this is probably going to be a massive hit.
Well, no, because remember when that first trailer came out, everybody was like burning us. So like,
what a story! What an unbelievable story to go from like shamed on the internet to like a fucking massive hit and greenlight the sequel and everything.
It's very exciting. I know that they're developing the sequel now. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm assuming I'm coming back. Nobody's told me I'm not. That'll be exciting too. Also, when does that film? I have no idea about anything. But let's get back to John. It's a big birthday tomorrow, John. You said 32. How are you celebrating?
We're going to my parents' house, and we're just gonna hang out.
Who is
there.
we?
Kevin's coming. My girlfriend's gonna come.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And get away for the boys.
And the boys and John's girlfriend. Yeah. That'll make a really cool third wheel. Entire family and then Kevin. And then where's your family live?
They live in Westport, Massachusetts.
Is that one of the waters near water?
Yes, it's on the water.
Oh, heaven! I miss that stuff.
It's gonna be. I'm very, very excited. Probably gonna drink a little too much. And then we got the Bruins on. Big. I know you're a big hockey guy, Ben. You talk about it.
Huge hockey guy.
Whoa! What was it in Middleditch Schwartz when you guys are doing the sports stuff? Yeah, don't do hockey.
I don't know anything. I know stuff about the 1994 or 1992 Rangers. I can tell you that because someone at that time, I was very into a girl in my, what grade would it have been? Like 8th grade, 9th grade or something like that? No, maybe a little bit more. Whenever it was Messier, Leach, Richter, like that era, when they won the Stanley Cup.
Was when they won the cup, yeah.
I loved the Rangers, so I was like, I got to figure this out, and I watched like a couple games and loved it, and then I never thought about it again.
I was a fan of that as well. I was a 94 Rangers fan. I was a fan of the Rangers because like my dad's friend who was cool was from New York, and I was like Rangers, so I liked, I wanted to be like him. And then the Rangers won the cup in 94, and I like celebrated. I was going nuts. And the next morning, my dad threw out all my Rangers stuff, and he's like, "You're a Bruins fan."
I mean, how great is that? Ben, what if you have a kid one day and he's like a Celtics fan all of a sudden, or a Bulls fan or something, putting up shit on the walls? Are you not tearing that down?
It would be allowed in the room. It would be allowed in the gentleman's room, but not allowed out of the room. That room, he can do whatever he wants, and then outside of the room, I'd be a little bit more like, But I thought that I think it'd be fun to like then watch the games and have some rivalry within your house.
I know a couple guys who root against their father on purpose.
Which
And I'm
says
like,
a lot about your childhood.
Yeah, I think you got a weird relationship with your dad if you're like, I'm gonna root against you, motherfucker.
Well, John talked about like his uncle liked the Rangers, so he liked the Rangers or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like a family. I wonder how much of our lives are shaped by the people we look up to liking something. So we're like, I'm gonna like that too, and then almost force ourselves to like it, and we just stick with it for life.
Or like you said, girls make you do weird shit.
Yeah. By the way, especially when you're young and like in high school and college, and like you're like, oh, this girl loves Howie Day. I'm gonna check out a Howie. I was trying to think of Howie Day performed at Union College, which is the college I went to. And
You went to Union?
I did, yeah, in upstate New York.
I had a lot of friends go to Union.
Really? Where did you go?
I went everywhere, Ben. I did not care for college, so I kept trying new ones, and then it just never stuck.
What was the one that you stuck with? Give me the freaking tour. Give me your tour of colleges.
I started at St. Michael's in Burlington, Vermont.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Vermont. Love Burlington, Vermont.
Beautiful town. Unbelievable. But I played baseball there, and I got hurt. I couldn't play baseball anymore.
Wait, what division is that school?
2, which is like actually worse than 3 because it's so small.
That's not true. I know it's better than 3. And by the way, Kevin, why do you never talk about that? You have an all-star athlete here of baseball. Is it your sport that you love, Kevin? Baseball.
Steroids. He also did performance-enhancing drugs, so whatever.
Did he do creatine or did he do actual performance-enhancing drugs?
I did actual performance-enhancing drugs in like it was like the catcher on the team. It was like a cream. It was like I don't think it actually did anything, but it was like the catcher was like, yo, if you want to play in the big leagues, we got to do this. And
what does that mean? Did you inject? Is it like the remember the
No.
Did you guys spit in each other's mouths and inject syringes or no?
No, I've never done anything with needles that wasn't administered by a doctor.
Tell me what a performance. I know nothing about it, so tell me what a performance-enhancing drug is. Which one did you take?
Ativan. It is for, and this is true. It is the Ativan wasn't the cream. The Ativan was a pill. But it is for, it was designed for patients with AIDS who were like weight loss. So it was like to pack on muscle.
Let's pack on muscle so they wouldn't get too weak.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're
That's
using
great, John. You're stealing medication from AIDS patients. Awesome. Great job.
It's not actually used for that anymore. It was like, it's almost like Viagra was supposed to be for your heart. And then they were like, oh wait, that gets your dick hard. And
is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be for
I
like.
love how much medical knowledge John has.
Viagra was for blood circulation in the heart, and then they realized it pumped all the blood to the peep.
Okay, so you started in Burlington, Vermont. What position were you?
A center fielder, and then I.
What were you in the lineup before you got injured? What number?
It was just spring ball, so like there was like lineups weren't set or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just fall ball. But then I decided I didn't want to just stay in Vermont and not play sports. So I went to Florida State for 2 years. But then there were stops in between there. Like I went to UMass Dartmouth, which was just like a commuter school. I went there for a bit. Then I went to Florida State. Then I went to Providence College. Then I went to NYU for a semester. And then when I was at NYU, I like linked up with Barstool, New York, and never went back. Never went to another class.
So you went to NYU for what was the purpose of going to NYU, by the way? Very beautiful, expensive schools, John. Where would you? So when you went to NYU, was you like, okay, now I want to do?
How many people in the world do you think NYU was like their 5th stop along the way? You might be the only person to ever do that.
You must have a connection. There's no way you can go to all those schools and end up at the most prestigious one in New York.
No, okay, that one I wasn't enrolled in. I was just taking classes there.
You were just hanging out on someone's couch there for a bit.
It wasn't like I didn't like do an application. I took like 4 creative writing classes there.
We're gonna play a game called Guess the Sport. I have a series of balls on my desk, which I didn't know I had, but now I'm looking. I'm gonna show you a ball from not a normal sport, and you have to tell me what sport it's from. You
Okay.
ready?
Okay.
I've had this since college. This ball. You
Ben
ready?
Schwartz, guess these balls.
Yeah. Can we have some sort of icon for you guys? Whoever does your editing does a great job. Let's call Guess These Balls. That's what it's called. All right, ready? Here we go. First one.
It's like a soft.
Cricket's incorrect. Keep going. This helps.
Polo?
No.
It's got seams. It's something you'd throw. Hurling?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Wow. One for John. Why do you have a
all the other
hurling?
ones are normal? Oh, I got one. You know, like how every now and then, like in sports games, they'll throw like little balls or whatever, and you're never the one that catches them. One time, I caught a Clippers ball in my entire. I've been to many sports events, usually in really, really terrible seats. And one time in my life, I caught a ball, and it was
How good is that rush?
it was
It's amazing.
incredible.
I caught a
remember when-
T-shirt once, and I was like, "I'm king of the world!"
Unheard of. I always thought when I was a kid, they shoot the T-shirts to the people that work for the company, and they put them back in the machine.
I caught a T-shirt once at a monster truck show, and like had to like fight off like monster truck. I was like 7. I was a kid, and I like it was one of those like you stood on the chair, then you jumped, and I just landed in the arms of like monster truck men, and they were like everyone's trying to get it out of me, and I was just like on the floor in a ball, fighting for my life to get the shirt, and I finally get home and open it. It's like a double XL. It was right in the trash.
By the way.
Never underestimate grown men in a crowd trying to get a ball or a shirt or something for free. They'll step on women and children. They forget who they are for a minute.
It's terrible. By the way, Yankee games, anytime I went to a Yankee game, the only way you can get a foul ball is if it comes right to your hands. If it's anywhere to left and it hits the floor once, it's like 100 people dive and push and elbow and stuff like that.
It ain't worth it, man.
No, it ain't worth it.
Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. We always appreciate the
Guys,
Zoom.
what a happy birthday and congrats. And by the way, what an upgrade in the room, John. Your last room was like your brother's painted.
I'm back in New York. I'm in our studio.
Oh, are you allowed? So you're allowed to just be in the studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing like limited capacity. Like, you know, some of the people who really do a lot of recording and stuff are back. So I'm still at home obviously right now, but I go in a couple days a week.
It's like you can
You
be
guys ever go in at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. How often have you guys gotten tested?
And you're breaking up. When you say Ben, you're breaking up. The Zoom connection is bad.
I have the antibodies. I've been tested for the antibodies. I have those.
So that means you've already had it. You've probably given it to Kevin. Can I tell you what you should get for your birthday, John?
What?
You should get a surge protector. Look fucking behind you. It's insane the amount of one surge protector could save your life.
This is gonna burn down soon.
All right. This started so happy. It ends with Ben shaming us, which was my greatest fear, and then being like, "You're breaking fire code," just so you know.
No, I'm be safe. Happy birthday, John. I'm very happy that you guys are spending it together. That makes me very happy. But be safe.
Well, thank you, bro. You are hands down our favorite celeb, and we always appreciate the time.
Don't ever call me a celeb. That feels terrible.
God, you're our favorite friend. You're our best friend in the whole world.
Happy birthday. This was very exciting. Hopefully, when's your birthday, Kev? Oh, I can guess when your birthday is.
Come on.
It's October.
No.
All right, guys. I'm breaking up.
The best. The absolute best.